Señor, ¿está bien?
Sí.
Oh, of course not. Of course not. Check, check. Yep, I can hear you now. Can you hear
Cool.
me?
Yeah.
All right, we did it.
Awesome.
Fucking A.
You gonna jump on the spaces?
Yep, I'm going to.
And then I'm gonna mute this.
Relax, bro. I might not know everything, but I know some things. I just want to get the screen share going first. This way,
Okay.
people don't see my DMs and shit like that.
Yeah, for sure. You don't want that.
So I'll put you there, and then we will mute you here, and then we will stop the screen share, and then we will create a new screen share, and it will be entire screen. This one, let's go. Check this out. Bang. How's that look?
Sweet.
Awesome. All right, I'm gonna unmute you and join the spaces.
Go.
Let's do it. We did it. 10 minutes into the live stream, we are episode 17 of Live on the Kaspa Standard. You know, that's because we're real people doing real things, trying to make an impact in this crypto space. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean, man.
I don't hear you on the spaces.
You don't? Okay, hold on.
I don't hear you on the spaces, and that might be a me problem. Fuck.
Can you guys hear me? Oh, it might be my headphones. Here we go. Can you hear me now? No? So everybody else can hear me.
Hold on. I think again might be me problem.
All right. We'll get this worked out. We're trying to stream in all these different platforms.
I got it. I did it. We're good now.
You did it?
Yeah.
You can hear me?
Yeah.
What's up, bro?
What's up, dude?
You're spinning about 5 different hats over there, man. I'm just over here watching you work.
That's what we do, dog. Yeah, trying to get this. Let me see if it was just that, and now I can. Let me change the screen share to see if. Hold on. Change the screen share here to the entire window. Oh, no, this one. That one. Bang. Share. Okay. So that's up. I can hear you on Spaces. The only thing I would need now is for someone in the audience to verify that the Spaces audio is coming through on live stream.
So if we can get a thumbs up for that, right?
Yeah. So
they would have to be in the Spaces to see the live stream on what's on live on the Kaspa Standard, the X account.
Live on the Kaspa Standard on X. Yeah, so Live on the Kaspa S on X, YouTube / at Live on the Kaspa Standard, or on vivoor. All links in the tweets that we put out for the show. Because I can hear everything coming from you guys now, so it should be coming into the the live stream. But just want to make sure. I guess I can go over there too and check it out. As long as they can hear you, then they're getting the Spaces audio.
All right, cool. I think we got a thumbs up from everybody. So
awesome. the Dolphins are releasing Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, we knew that was coming.
Yeah, oh, for sure. For sure. Yeah, that's our sports talk.
They had to do. Yeah, is that it? That's all we got. I mean, listen. I have not turned on a TV since I've been living on YouTube, watching videos, getting reacclimated with the sales word, business, entrepreneur, making connections. So I've not turned on a TV since the Super Bowl.
Nice.
I don't know what's happening, bro. Unless I get an alert on it.
It's a better way. I mean, I tried sending you a video from Facebook about stuff that we talk about, and you're like, "Yeah, I took that. I got rid of that." And I'm like,
"Oh yeah, I do that. I do that every year." I've done it every year. I go through a social media cleanse, and the last time I did it, it lasted almost 2 years. So I didn't have an X account. Well, I did have an X account. I think I opened it in like March of 2024. But Instagram, Facebook, when I get in it, when I get zoned in, I go into these. I call them money making seasons. So it's when I just get really intentional and focused, and I eliminate all distractions. I forget what days of the week it is. And today's Monday, right? Yeah, today's Monday.
Yeah, because it's live on the Kaspa Standard.
Yeah, so I know that. I know when I have things scheduled. But I immerse myself, man. It's just how I function the past 25 years in particular. And it's fun. It's fun, draining, exhausting. It's a roller coaster ride. Like the charts. Like the sentiment in this industry, man.
What are charts? What are charts? Fuck these charts.
What is that? What is that all about?
You know what this is all about? Bang! If you're watching a live stream, just to let you guys know. Oh, look at that Block Explorer. Did you see that Block Explorer on the live stream?
That was beautiful, man. Who did you send that to? Seb?
I didn't send it. That was sent to you.
That was sent to really?
That was something sent to you.
That's pretty awesome.
Let's get some programming out the way. Now that we're 15 minutes into the live stream and like 8 minutes into the spaces. Let's get the business out the way. We ended last week's episode by announcing our partnership with Get Better Melts. So go to getbettermelts.com, 50% off by using the promo code LOTKS at checkout. Shouts to Neo and his phenomenal products over at getbettermelts.com. Actually, if you're watching the live stream, I still have them on the table from last week. We got Focus Melts, we got Glow Melts, Glow Melts, and we got Dream Melts. Dream Melts help with sleep. Glow Melts help with your sexiness. Focus Melts help with your attention span. We love Neo. Neo's the greatest. I gotta keep peppering his DMs for him to come join the show. I know he's the busiest man, but so that for that, go to getbettermelts.com, promo code LOTKS for 50% off, and that's off of every size order. Doesn't matter. You want to get one and try it, 50% off. You want to get 100 and try it, 50% off. So shouts to Neo. Thank you so much for sponsoring the show. Also, we are streaming live on Twitter Spaces, our X account, LOTKS on X, our YouTube account, YouTube/@ Live on the Kaspa Standard. Sorry, X is Live on the Kaspa S. Dude, it's been a day already. But if you're watching on video, okay, what we've done over the last couple weeks is we put the Twitter Spaces up so we can see so everyone who joins as a speaker can get some shine on their account. Well, this week, due to the great developments by the fantastic creator Seb, we figured out how to do the CastMap transaction viewer. So what we've done this week is side by side, we have our transaction viewer on CastMap and the spaces. So if you're watching us live, you can see in real time transactions. So that's what our reaction was earlier, just a couple minutes ago, is there was a transaction sent from across the globe to Juan's address. That's Juan.cast. If you want to send an energy exchange donation to the show, LOTKS.cast. And if your wallet is registered on CastMaps, then that transaction can show live while we're here. So if you wanted to send a little something to LOTKS.cast and you're associated with Cash Maps and register the wallet. So there's a process to register the wallet. You have to click a button that says, I believe it says verify, if I'm not mistaken. Seb can hop on and walk us through it if he wants. But yeah, so this is what Juan and I talked about after last week's show when Seb was going through the process of what this global explorer is going to look like. And it was like, it'd be a great idea to just keep that up during the show, just so any transactions that are happening will bounce back and forth all over the map while it's happening. I think maybe we can help get some adoption on here as well,
Right. Yeah, I'm with that, and I'm so happy that we got to. Yeah, I appreciate whoever sent me the Caspa there, but I'm fired up about it. I put a post about it. I pinned it. It's pinned on my profile. I think the community is obviously excited about so many things. There's Casilla messaging, the beta on iOS that's out, amongst so many other things. Michael mentioned the covenants hard fork coming May 5th, and obviously those of us that have been in this know that there's always things going on. I just see what Seb is doing, and I'm not going to pick favorites in terms of the projects. They're all very important in their own right, but in terms of how I can contribute and where I see myself, this is just beautiful. So, I mean, I noticed the numbers have gone up, Bishop. I don't know, like when he started doing all this, there were 600 and some odd users. Now there's over 750. There's like 70 some odd countries. Now there's 84 countries represented. I did put so that little dot that you see there, if you're seeing us on the live stream, oh, there we go. Somebody just sent you some gas. So that's super cool. Touchdown.
Seb for the dub. Seb just
Look at that. That's
threw
super
free
cool.
cash to the show. I love it. I
That
love
is
this, dude.
beautiful.
Yeah.
That is beautiful. And then the one way down there in Panama, that's my son. So
Nice.
you can set the location of where you actually are actually at. I'm representing obviously Florida by the Miami area. You're up in Delaware.
I'm in Delaware. I'm this second dot. There's a dot right above
There's
me.
a dot right above you. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so slowly but surely we're getting the wallets on there, and I just think it's super cool, man. How we can literally send energy like that, and it's confirmed and in the other wallet in seconds.
Yeah.
So that's what this whole thing was supposed to be about, right? Back to talking about the original mission.
Well, that was a big reason why when vivoor came out. Shouts to the vivoor guys. We're streaming live over on vivoor as well. vivoor.xyz/channel/TWTakesPodcast. We're going to get that over to LOTKS soon. We just wanted to kind of, since we're already live there, changing it to another channel doesn't make sense at the moment, but we'll get there. But yeah, when vivoor came up and they're like, you know what? One base layer transaction of 1.2 cash, your stream goes up. Any tips to the show after that are 100% yours. This isn't Twitch where they take 30%. This isn't YouTube where you need 1,000 viewers and X amount of subscribers and all of this to gain monetization. Same thing with X. You got to meet these things for monetization. No, if you guys want to send these energy exchange donations like Seth just did, and you're attached to the Block Explorer, not only are you helping the base layer and the show, but you're also showing what Kaspa is capable of, which is why this show is named the way it is, live on the Kaspa standard. We're trying to live on the Kaspa standard. We're trying to be as sovereign as possible in means that actually make sense. It's not just, we'll get away from the dollar because the dollar's, whatever. No, like this makes sense. This makes sense. What we're doing right now. Do people stream out in the world? Yes, they do. Do they generate revenue? Yes, they do. Well, how can you do that in a sovereign way? And here we are, live in the Kaspa standard. That was awesome.
Yeah. Yes, sir. It's exciting, man. It's exciting. Obviously the peer-to-peer exchange of energy from across the globe in seconds is a beautiful feature, and then obviously everything else is being built on top of what is possible, and like you said, we're focusing here on live on the Kaspa standard. We're trying to give this the human touch, what it can do today, what it can do now. Get excited about the future. There's no doubt that's how, as humans, what we look forward to the future. But there's a lot of these features and benefits to being on Kaspa right now. The masses, most people are gonna look at this as, and you can look at it however you want, but most people look at this and go, oh, an investment. Look at the price. And we really want to get away from that. Like one Kaspa is one Kaspa.
Right.
And yeah, we right now we have to operate in fiat. There's no like 100% exit from the system. And can we do it in a way where it's, we're not here trying to hide anything or speak against anything. It's just like, oh no, look, there's an alternative here to how we can exchange energy across the globe. That's a pretty big deal. I ran a business where my employees were down in Panama, and I had to transact every week, send payments, and that didn't settle. I had to pay a fee. Can you imagine what it's going to be like when I could do that on Caspa? So
Let's go.
yeah, that's before I
Oh,
understood what any of this was about. So I think highlighting that every show and starting the show off with that is super, super important, man. And if all you come to do is listen to us and see that part, that's cool. We'll take it.
for sure. Oh, got another one. How's this at?
Yeah,
You
it's
mentioned numbers last week too. Also last week there was only 6 wallets attached to the map. Now there's 11.
There's 11, sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it's your son, you say, so I'm going to send him a little bit of energy as well to Panama.
Look at that. Look at that, dude. That's so cool. Seb, you're
I'll let
awesome,
that.
man.
That's awesome, man.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm happy that more wallets have been added. To be honest, there's also one in South Korea. In Panama, of course, so we got a little bit of distance added, and I really like the long, how do you say it? The long distance transactions. Also,
Yeah,
if you can also,
one in
sorry,
India and then this Japan or
it's South Korea over there.
Korea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
how do you say it? It's nice, really, to see that. And you can also pan and zoom, just by, holding your control, and then grab it with the mouse, and then you can, how do you say it? Yeah, really pan are you on a Mac or on a PC? Windows
I'm on
PC?
PC. Yeah,
Yeah.
Windows PC.
Yeah, if you press the control and you press and hold control, then you can also drag, the earth, if correct.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. And then you can
Ooh,
also
good.
zoom in and get a nice, horizon, how do you say it, view. So, just playing around a little bit. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, like Juan said that, we don't want to play favorites, but he's lying.
Oh man,
No, this is
if you only knew how
really.
much time it costed me to get all those dots in
Oh, we
place. Oh
know.
my god.
We've been here, Seb. We
Yeah.
know. We know. You're like, oh, in a couple weeks, and you kept refining and retweaking, and look at this, man. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Really easy to navigate, and yeah, man, it's starting to catch on.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, the
I know a lot
only
of people
thing
don't.
I thought I did enough to, I mentioned it earlier. I thought I did enough by entering my .cas address, but you mentioned that I had to click the button there. What was that button called? Was it verify or?
No, let me check myself. I go to my cache map, to my profile. Then, I added lookup. It's lookup. So, I should automate it, still. That it does it, automatically. I will write it down.
And if you're signing up for CastMap Premium, use promo code Juan. Make sure you use promo code Juan.
Do you have one too?
I don't have a.
I think we all have
it?
them.
I don't have an abridged version. I have the cryptographic version that has way too many characters.
I will hook you up, Bishop.
There we go.
Do you want to have Bishop?
Yeah, Bishop's fine. That'll work.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, I will do that, in a minute. So, yeah, let me see. Yeah, social profile. If you have there your wallet, you can Kaspa social profile at the bottom.
Okay, so I already have mine entered. Let's see here. If I hit edit, Okay, there we go. So if you guys are watching on live stream where it says for edit Kaspa profile, what I did at first is I put in LOTKS.cast and then hit save. I didn't hit the lookup button. Once you hit the lookup button, you get a notification up top, address resolved successfully. Once you get the address resolved successfully, that's when it attaches to the viewer, right?
Yeah, and still in the viewer, I like privacy, so I want everybody to be able to opt in, and through settings you can also again opt out, but you have an opt in right in your face when you are at the visualizer at the top. So yeah, it's hard to miss, but if you want to be added, you have to press the toggle to opt in, and then you are opt in. So.
Okay, I'm gonna go from the home page now, and then I'm gonna click on the middle button with the smiley face says activities. So you guys click on that, and then from activities we go to map visualizations. It says soon. You got more coming there, Seb, or that's just a graphic you have to?
That was soon, but now two are.
Uh-oh.
We lost him.
So in here, as Seb was saying, so once you get to map visualizations, you click on that, and then right here where it says options, there's fly-in animation. There's start at my city, launch viewer. So when we launch this viewer,
that is everything that is happening on CastMap itself. So all the entities, so all the individuals, events, and there's the block deck viewer you are looking. Yes.
Yeah, I'll go back. Launch the wheel. Okay. Look at that beautiful. This is really cool, Seb.
Yeah, I like it as well. I had it, to be honest, I had the dots, so the dots also interact when you are hovering over it, but that I had to pull it out because of the rendering. It takes like a half a minute to render it, so I had to pre-render the globe to make it load like instead of 30 seconds in 300 milliseconds. That's a big difference. So I'm still looking into if I can make it interactive and a little bit more futuristic, but I'm already happy with the dots as they are. I like the view. I can also have another like a real world view, but for this I wanted to be a little bit more futuristic and make use of all the dots for the land.
Yeah, I think it looks great. One question: would you be able to have an auto rotate that can be clicked on and off, so where the Earth can spin by itself?
Yeah, of course. If you like that, I had it even before, so I can easily add it.
Yeah, I think it would be cool for the show specifically, since nothing, no transactions are happening at the moment. At least the world would be spinning.
Yeah,
I think would look pretty cool.
I already noticed it. So just next week it should be there. Then.
Nice. No, this is brilliant. Thank you so much, Seb.
You're welcome. And the other one, it doesn't show the how do you say it? It doesn't show the transactions, but it's if you can open the other globe for a moment.
Where is that?
If you go up a little bit, there's the CastMap 3D globe, or that one.
Oh, this one.
Yeah,
I didn't realize they were.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one either.
Oh, look at this.
And that's all the cast result.
Okay, wait. I need to adjust it. I see there is, it loaded something it should not load. What you are seeing is the preloaded, probably it goes to the half of the southern hemisphere about that. The purple bullets are the universities I have preloaded, and this one is fetching them, and I didn't know it was fetching them. Let me see. At the top right, you have several options. If you click the hand at the top right of your screen, then you can, you can click each entity on the globe, so you can see what it is or who it is, and.
Okay.
And there is also a globe with a lock, and if you press the globe with the lock, it starts to rotate. It's rotate on, rotate off.
Oh, look at that. Now, will the transaction show on this globe as well, or that's
No,
the other one?
no, it's the other one. It's the other one. Maybe it's something I could. How do you say it? Merge, but for now they are two different ones. Both differently built up from the ground, but it would be nice even if it was also here.
So cool.
Yeah, so this is all 750 plus people that have registered on Cast Maps.
Yeah.
That's what this is? Yeah.
Yeah. And that are the teal colored, are the Caspians. The blue dots are the groups, and the slightly different blue are the events. And the purple ones, they should not be there. That's a database or a coding error from my bad.
Target hit list. Target hit list to get on a Cast Maps.
Yeah. No, for real.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
You can click on it. It's no
this
big
is the
secret.
prospect list. Okay.
Now these are the universities. I have preloaded universities. That will.
I see Universidad Marina in Colombia. I see much like Colombia. There's nothing. Okay. I speak Spanish. We can call some of these people.
Yeah. This was to be.
Awesome.
Yeah, there was to be. I'm holding every Thursday now. Also, my own space. This was to be a scoop for next Thursday, but now you guys have it. This is only half of it. It's fully loaded already, also with the northern hemisphere. But I can also explain why it only takes a half, because there are so many. There are over 10,000, and I have a maximum of 5,000, I think, that it can preload by default. So it started at the bottom and it loaded up till half. So these are probably like 5,000, or maybe 1,000. I'm not sure what the maximum is for this globe specifically, but something like that. Yeah. So yeah, that's coming. Only this will be invisible. There is when you are signing up now also the option to sign up as a student and to claim your university if nobody else has been doing so, or to join your university. So that will be next, and there will be some nice news coming Thursday about that. But
awesome.
Yeah. So but very nice that you guys are showing this. I really I'm happy to see other people also enjoy these globes.
Yeah. This site's all about living on the Kaspa standard. So it aligns with what the message we're trying to get out, how we're trying to connect people. And yeah, man, thank you for building this tool that is going to connect so many of us, and it's a beautiful thing. Yeah. So we think it's appropriate to show a transaction when we start the show.
Yeah.
So thank you. We didn't send anything. That was you. That was you sending me some CAS and sending Bishop some CAS.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. If you guys are showing it, I have to participate. So I enjoy it myself. Every time there is something flying over the globe, I really enjoy the view.
Yeah, that's your baby, man. Of course, that's your.
Yeah.
We know this is your favorite. We just can't say that out loud. It's like saying one of your children's. That's why I see all these projects. I'm like, yeah, I love that everybody's working. So shine to everyone. But you can say it. You can say, hey, my cast map's
Yeah.
your favorite. It's your
Yeah.
baby, man.
Yeah. I to be honest, I like the block deck viewer as well a lot because I'll be honest,
It's different.
I knew it. I knew the logic that, for instance, a transaction gets picked up by multiple blocks because they are in parallel. But then you have it on. Let me send some more, and because that for me it was really also educational for myself. One moment, let me grab a address. Here it is, and then it's okay. There's a little bit buggy sometimes especially if you resize it. Can you refresh? I will send a new transaction.
Yeah, it looks like we have the UTXOs for the Juju transaction.
Look at that.
Yeah.
That's really, yeah, I just refreshed. So there we go.
Okay, let me send it again. I don't mind sponsoring the little guy. Okay.
He's gonna have way more caster than me. It's not fair.
That's good. That's positive. Yeah, there it goes. Look.
There we go.
Yeah.
Look at that.
So each one of those is a UTXO that helps confirm that
Yeah.
transaction.
You can pause it and then we can talk about it. At the right top, there's a pause button.
Yep. I got to pause. I paused a little late, but it's all right.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's okay. What you can see, I cannot read it off the screen from here, but how many how many UTXOs are there? How many blocks? 1, 2, 3,
8. Looks like 8.
8.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
8 blocks right there in the top left here where it shows the transaction that happened. It says 8 blocks.
Yeah. And so you can open it, and if you are opening one, you will see it. It goes, I think, to Kaspa Explorer, and it will show. You can open a new, and there is one that will be awarded the fee of the transaction. But the funny thing is, it's not the block itself that does it. It is the block afterwards. So also in the block deck viewer, there's one with a yellow golden glow. And if you click that, you will also see which are the parents.
Yes.
And if you can click it.
Yeah, the accepted by chain block.
Yeah, so
where the transaction. But wow.
Yeah, so it's the one after it that will confirm your transactions and your validity, and then you get your payment. So it's really different from what we are used to with the blockchains. This is
the blockchain. Wow. Yeah, that's super cool seeing this. I didn't even know it was like that.
So for me, I knew it like theoretically, but it never really set in. Only when I was making this, I really thought, okay, so this is how the block deck is working. It really gave a new depth to my insight or my knowledge, my understanding of how a block deck works. Same with at the start, at the totally right end, at the tip of the block deck, that you are seeing the selecting and unselecting all the time of the blocks. Of course, I knew it would be happening like that, but to see it happening in real time, then that for me it really increased my understanding of the block deck and how it functions. It's so I like this one as well. So both the globe and these two are my favorites so far. And I'm working on a third one, but that's a very hard one to do. I said optimistically next month, but I think it will be a little bit longer. But that will be the end game viewer for me. So yeah, that's a little bit of extra explanation. Yeah, I still, it's a little bit buggy. You really need to sync. That's a refresh, really. Yeah, I changed it to a refresh because this animation, it's not really, the animation is very nice if you start it and you do not change the size of the screen. But yeah, I wanted to have that little bit of that jumpy, or how do you say, elastic, view, but it has to settle first a little bit, and then it gives a very nice view. But if you resize it, the interaction goes a little bit strange. And sometimes here, this is a bug. I need, sorry. I really need to get rid of this.
It's kind of like life. Like life is crazy like that, and then it confirms the truth. That's how I see it. It's
Yeah,
more aligned with how things actually work,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, look, it should be like
All these
this.
events, all these things happen, and boom, yeah.
Yeah. And then, yeah, this is how it is intended to be. And this is what I really, really like to see. Also with the green and the red, circles.
A real living organism. That's what it is. Look at
Yes,
that.
yes, exactly. And those blocks flying in with 10 BPS, it's incredible what they have coded and then what they have come up with.
So, somebody just sent me something?
Yeah, I just sent you some from the show.
Okay.
It took 4 seconds. I slow counted after I approved the transaction on my side. It took 4 seconds
To show up.
to show up on the viewer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Show up on your,
There is, in the viewer itself, there is 500 millisecond latency to be able to calculate everything. And the rest is the API and the node itself. And I'm not sure what the latency or the on that is. Yeah. So okay. So 4 seconds or 5 seconds? What did you say? Then I know it as well.
4 or 5 seconds, yeah.
Ah,
I
yeah.
mean, I counted to 4, but I don't know if I counted to as well.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's the thing. It, not, again, to shit on any other chain, but do this with Bitcoin. You know, how does your transaction confirm through Bitcoin this way, right? Is that even possible? Not here. Not like this. So yeah, it's beautiful, man. What you built is awesome.
Yeah, and then to give Bitcoin credit, right? It's like Bitcoin had to be invented, and we had to get the blockchain in order to get the block tag,
Right.
and that's what more people generally reference blockchain, and we even say blockchain.
Yeah.
But you have to understand blockchain before you understand this. And maybe it'd be good to talk about that a little bit, Seb. If you could, obviously we're looking at the visuals, and yeah, for me, it's one thing to learn things in concepts and have a conversation about it. But the fact that we're able, those of you that can see it, because you can see this on YouTube, right, Bishop? You can see it on YouTube.
On YouTube.
Yeah.
Twitter.
So if you're looking, and for people that are listening back, the evolution, right? So the block tag is an evolution with the same consensus, what people within the industry call same Nakamoto consensus, and it solved the trilemma. But maybe if we could explain it in layman's terms, in terms of what a blockchain is and how that works compared to what the block tag does.
As in the difference between the two.
Yeah, the difference, So for somebody being like, okay, well, why does it even matter?
I think I need to think about it a minute or two to give a good answer
Okay.
about that. Yeah.
I mean, for me, and
I think we could talk it out and figure it. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah,
Go ahead, Bishop.
me and Small Logic and Buffalo. I saw your hand up. We'll get to you in a second. And apologies to STP. He was looking to jump in, but we're just trying to stay right where we were for a moment. But no, I think for me, when you look at just the visualizer itself, this DAG is not fake, right? This is how Kaspa operates in crypto technology. So the idea of how the information is processed is from left to right to up to down and all this, and then it comes through to meet in the middle. So you have an opportunity where if there's error in the middle, you can still find proof and truth on the outside and then come to the middle, where in a regular chain, you're going one after another. There is no outside consensus to help you move forward. So if you meet the, like on this visualizer, there's red blocks that pop, or red circles that pop up to show you, hey, this isn't going to work here. If you meet a bad block, you're done. You have to just move on to the next one, and all that information, half of which could have been true and the other half ruined the truth, you now have to move to the next space. And that, if I'm not mistaken, that type of information getting fucked up that way it's a waste of energy. You're losing that use of energy that you had before. That's kind of how I see it in the simplest terms.
Yeah, it's indeed throwing away a lot of energy.
Yeah, there we go.
With the
That's what.
blockchains.
Yeah, that's how I relate to it. So for me to put it in the most layman's and relatable term, I compare my fitness journey. So me getting, let's say, out of shape, and then knowing that in order to move forward and validate truth, right? Like there's energy that's exerted, so there's energy that I put out, and if I'm seeing if I can tie this together. But like the way I look at a blockchain is it's not taking everything that I've done into account. It's discarding some of that energy, and then with Kaspa, everything is taken into account, and then it efficiently. So think about like somebody who's like, oh, I'm just going to eat protein and I'm not going to eat carbs, or they just take things out that obviously are needed in order to get your body aligned and right to the truth and in the best shape. Whereas it incorporates, in order to get in shape, you actually need to incorporate absolutely everything. So I don't know if that'll land for a lot of people, but for me, that's how I view it. I look at it as like my life is evidence of how this concept works, right? Like everything needs to be taken into account in order to validate truth and to move forward. So that's my little tidbit on it. Again, I'm not sure if that'll land or make sense for most, but that's how I see it. So Casper just feels more living and real and right here, and it takes everything into account.
Yeah, it does take everything into account. It accepts competing blocks, but even conflicting blocks. Of course, there are red blocks, but in the end, everything is taken into account. Yeah, I think it's the ordering that makes Kaspa special. It's excellent in ordering, and I'll be honest, this is literally higher math that I cannot read. You need to be, I think, a mathematician or something to really understand the language that's being used, the formulas, stuff like that. That is what the block deck by Kaspa can do excellent, because having a block deck on its own has its own issues. For instance, with the ordering, but with Kaspa, it's being done perfectly fine, and like literally perfect from what I understand. This is mathematically so sound. It's like perfectly sound. That also means, if my interpretation is right, that you can keep on scaling. Of course, scaling more will have its own issues, but I don't think there is a fundamental blockade to stop scaling. And then I think that is the big win compared to other blockchains, is that you can just scale in width and thus having a lot more transactions. There is a barrier when it comes to computation, from what I understand, about how much can be done in each transaction. But I think Kaspa is solving that graciously by having having done computations and storage of information outside of the block deck. So you don't have to store everything. You don't have to do everything on chain. You only do that part on chain that is absolutely necessary, and that gives that added value of making use of the blockchain. And so you don't have to put everything on the same chain. So going for what they are good at and not trying to do everything, I think that's good, a good choice.
Yeah, I just see the efficiency part of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's that was one of the big things that people talked about
Yeah.
Bitcoin not being proof of work. It can't scale, right? The whole trilemma issue, and I think for a long time, I wasn't really following, but you've been in this fight for quite some time. But that was one of the things, like all the energy that Bitcoin wastes and Kaspa takes. I looked into this because the whole difficulty adjustment, and this is like as probably as nerdy as I can get. But what I realized is Bitcoin, so their difficulty adjustment adjusts every 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And that was considered a big deal because no matter how much hash power is on there, and let's say miners fall off, essentially it could, the 10 blocks could be the 1 block per 10 minutes, right? That's right with Bitcoin. That could be sped up or slowed down depending on the hash power going up or going down. But there's a difficulty adjustment that's, again, a little bit above my head that essentially aligns the energy so that it stays on course and it's on that time chain, the 10 minutes for every
Mm-hmm.
block. Caspa difficulty adjustment adjusts every block, like every block. And the fact that that was figured out, I think trips up a lot of people that have really, really gone deep into the depths of understanding that part of it. Cause I remember hearing that quite a bit in some of the debates. And, it's not my field. It's, again, a little bit over my head, but understanding that from an energy standpoint and kind of tying into what I'm saying, it's like things evolve, technologies evolve, and this just feels and looks like an evolution. And having the visualization, I think for a lot of people is going to do quite a bit, Seb. So it's pretty cool that you put this together because I don't think we have to understand it at the depths. The bottom line is if I send you a Caspa, you're in the Netherlands. I am in Miami, where there's a huge ash ocean between us, and Bishop's
Mm-hmm.
way up north. And we can literally transact energy like that. And all this technology, is why we can do that. And that's pretty effing cool. So,
Yeah, true.
yeah.
I,
We had STP was up a little bit earlier. I see Buffalo's been up for a while. What's up, Buffalo?
Hey, good morning, guys. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right. Good morning. Good morning. So I'm a little, it's a little early for me, but, I wanted to make sure I was here and, to be on it. So I'm glad you guys are rocking this wonderful Monday. It's a good way for me to start my day. So I want to thank you guys for being here.
Hell yeah, man. Yeah, thanks for joining us, man. Thanks for waking up with us.
Yeah. Yeah. It's my 3-day weekend. So, I'm just a little tired, but, I got some personal news I just want to share. Yesterday was my birthday.
Happy
Happy
birthday!
birthday.
Thanks, man. I am 40 years old. I did not think I was going to make it this far.
Ooh, the big 4-0, man.
Let's
Yeah.
Do
go.
you do anything
Let's go.
special?
Um,
Welcome.
I
Welcome
went
to
to
the
my favorite breakfast. It's actually this wonderful little diner. It's like 30 miles away from where I live, but it's called Twins. It's these two twin sisters that run this diner and they're great people. So I had really, really good food. Went and saw a movie, hung out with my lady. Um, walked the town, went through a couple shops, just really chill. And, yeah, it was good. It was good. If you would have asked me when I was like 20,
My bad. I accidentally muted the spaces.
Okay, I'm like, I didn't do that. All right.
We
sorry, can you
actually
guys
have
hear me?
we only have me on audio on live stream, so I'm trying to fix that. So I actually muted the spaces. But go for it, Buffalo. Apologies.
Yeah. No worries, no worries. But yeah, no, it was good. It was a good 40th birthday. And, Yeah. All is well, and I'm alive, and I didn't know if I was going to make it this far. It's good. It's been positive, but I kind of wanted to kind of do a little bit of a shift, because I had like a couple questions, because I've been looking at, getting a lot of these messages or a lot of these posts talking about, K chat, the KA chat. Um, and people are, I guess they're using it, or they're, I guess it's like in development through iOS or something. And this came out of nowhere. I've never heard of it, and people are using it. And I'm like, did I miss something? Like, I don't know I don't know these guys. I don't really understand it. I haven't tried it yet. I've been away from social media for a little bit, so it just kind of blew up. And I'm like, is it connected with Cassia or what? You guys
Yes.
know?
Yeah, it's connected with Cassia. So I have to try out to be in the beta. You have to have an iPhone. So Silver reached out to me, and he's kind of spearheading this in terms of testing it out and seeing how it works. But yeah, it's on Cassia, and essentially they're gonna there's notifications. So it's an app that you can use from the App Store. I'm just swiping over. And you get notifications, man, and you can even do. I don't think the group chat feature has been enabled yet, but they're working on group chats. But it looks pretty smooth. But yeah, that's what it is. It's just people using Cassia. I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm taking a look here. I think that's a big part of the reason why we've had transactions skyrocket. So Cassia, I don't know where the numbers were, but we're having between 4 to 5,000 transactions per 24 hours,
Oh, wow.
and that's a lot of that's the activity on Kachat and Cassia. The test, the beta that's going around right now. So yeah, it's in beta on iOS, and a handful of us are testing it out, man.
Okay, awesome. I'll have to check that out. So is it from Cassia, or is this like a separate, builder who's like using like using the framework of Cassia to make this work, or
That
how?
you know what? That's a good question. I didn't even think of that. I believe it's a separate builder. If
Yeah,
I'm
it's a separate builder.
yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. And I'm guessing his is like his first build, like he's not connected with anybody else. It's just like one time, all of a sudden it just popped up, and it's like making it happen. I'm like
Yeah.
looking through his stuff, and I'm like, this guy came out of nowhere. Who is this? Like, of course, my immediate response, I'm like, is this a government plant? Like, what's going on?
Well, so from what I noticed, on their Twitter account, they did ask for help funding, and I'm always reluctant to help fund. I mean, I would love for things to. I like meeting people first. If I got
Yeah.
like for instance, even the cast maps, I didn't sign up for premium until last week, and I would have sooner if I was on it more often. After getting to know Seb a little bit longer, a little bit longer, a little bit longer, a little bit longer, right? So you kind of want to trust the players in the game. Because I think
Yeah.
we kind of mentioned it briefly last week. There's sometimes some bad actors out there.
Of
But from
course.
what I noticed off this guy's Twitter account, he even said it. There's one person building it, so the Android application of it's going to take some time. But of course, it's something he's thinking about. And then also, from looking at what BJ has said and Juan has said, the interface and using it seems to be a lot cleaner, a lot smoother
It is.
than Cassia itself. But everything is ran through Cassia. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a few little bugs, like anything when somebody's building something out. So like I know that Bishop and I tried to. Well, I don't know where we're at with it, Bishop, but I know Bishop and I were trying because Bishop has an Android, I have an iPhone, so we're not
Hmm.
sure. But he was able to communicate with VJ. So again, in beta, working on stuff, but I can tell you that the interface is pretty sweet. It looks cool, and the
Nice.
fact that so I've been chatting on Cassia for months with Silver, back and forth, and I would actually have to go in. There were no notifications, so I'd have to go into the app and check it and send it. And I think that was a big part of the reason why it wasn't really being used as much. So all of a sudden, this comes out, and that spiked transactions on Cassia. And I know, I know a handful of. Well, I met somebody when I won't say I can't remember his name, but I met someone who runs a trucking logistics company that is just waiting for something like this. to work efficiently, because he has a business that runs all across the U.S. that where they send hundreds, thousands of messages per day, and they could use something like this. So yeah, man, it's the free market producing what's needed, man. So little things are gonna pop up like this all the time. That's how this thing works. So you yeah, like you said, you've been off the social media.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
like,
off of the Instagram and the Facebook, but I will definitely always check in on X to see what the
yeah,
latest is.
yeah. No, I mean, it's been like a weekend, so it's my 40th birthday. But like, I came back and I'm like, I mean, I'll check it occasionally a little bit, if
Right.
anything. But like, I'm not like going through and like, hey, what's new? Like, what are the builders making? Like, what's is there anything happening? So I've been my family came down to visit. I've been like trying to take time with them, so I'm kind of like not trying to get sucked into the black screen of death of my phone. So yeah, but I come back and I'm like, wait a minute, what's what is this? How did this all of a sudden happen? I usually these projects take they take time, they take information, gathering Caspa or cash or whatever you want to call it, any any donations and stuff. So I'm used to seeing things like get built, and all of a sudden it's built and it's already in beta, and I'm like, I've been waiting for Cassia to like put an iOS together, uh, to put it on iOS for I don't know how long, so I can like really sink my teeth into it. And all of a sudden, this guy has it done, and I'm like, where did this guy come from?
Yeah, man. I mean, and speaking as an entrepreneur who's tried things and failed and tried and failed, and oh shit, that worked out, and I didn't think it was going to work out. I think that there is a fundamental difference in building within a decentralized protocol versus the fiat-based system, right? It's like you have to have a little bit of, like Bishop said, and it makes sense. Hey, I'm going to be a little bit, or like you're saying, is this the government coming in? Are they, is something happening? Which you have every right to question that. That's instinct says, hey, I don't know. But I think what's super cool about this ecosystem and this technology is that think of the ideas that are out there. And we've had a couple episodes where we've had people come up. Shout out Kaspa Lioness. Like she comes up with a lot of ideas.
Mm-hmm.
And but the thing that is harder to do from a fiat base is that like go ahead and launch that idea and have it catch on. And who knows what this guy's story is or who specifically is. But the cool thing is like maybe he was waiting for a specific feature to come out, something to be developed, and now he can like throw it out there. And the community is like, oh shit, that's actually what we need. It looks super cool, the potential of a chat. And then it is, again, it's decentralized protocols are built from the bottom up. So you don't necessarily need to have capital. You can, and I'll say this, right? Because I know that there's been a lot of contentious back and forth with like Shy because of how, I know that he tried to start a YouTube channel and he felt he didn't get as much backing. So I understand where he's coming from because in order for things to really take off, you have to the community tells you right away if it's something that they want, if it's something that the market needs, and then it'll be funded or it won't be. And I think that's hard for people to take. Whereas from the other angle, it's like if you have enough money, you can push your product to market. Right?
Yeah.
Sometimes there's shitty things that are made that probably shouldn't be out. But if you have enough money and enough influence, you can push that out. And it works the opposite way in a decentralized protocol. It's like you actually build good shit that people want, that people react to, that actually want to fund, and that's what comes to light. But
Yeah, no, I mean, I get it. It's
yeah, yeah.
just like, it was so fast.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I
That's
mean,
what
how
I'm
long has
speaking
this
to,
guy had
bro.
an X account?
That's what I'm speaking to. I think that's a little taste of what's going to start happening at exponential levels because
I'm here for
the
it.
technology is like this. Like if you miss a week, you will miss 10, 15 things launching. Maybe not. Again, not maybe all those things catch on, but if the community wants it, you're going to get a natural, energetic pull towards that.
Of
And
course.
the ones that's the cool thing about being in a free market. It's like you better come out with something that people actually want to use. Um, you'll get a response right away. Where it's the opposite in the other system. And I think I like using the cognitive dissonance. There's this we're measuring it from again, going back to how Bishop and I talk about like one Caspa is one Caspa and people still aren't there. They're still looking at it from like the nominal terms. And that makes sense, right? Because that's what we come from. But it's the same thing building and creating and using, whatever ideas you have. It's like you have to actually try this, throw it out there, see if it sticks, let the community tell you, and if it's worth it, it'll keep rising. If not, something else will replace it that's cheaper, better, faster. That's how it works in these protocols.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I get that. And it makes me think about like, why Caspa is so much, is leagues beyond
Oh
Bitcoin.
yeah.
And of
It's not
course
even.
we have, yeah, right. We have Bitcoin as like, it's a starter. Like, what does it offer? Okay. It offers payments, uh, uh, over borders. It's has great security. It's somewhat private, right? Somewhat. And the number go up because the supply doesn't go up. And then you have like, okay, well now I have a business because Caspa has all the hallmarks of a business. It's a platform where you can create business, right? You can create products versus, oh, well, this is just, it's not really money. It's a store of value now. So the narrative had to change with Bitcoin. But like what you're paying, what you're using Bitcoin for, or people quote unquote using Bitcoin, is that they trust there's a locked supply, and that you can transfer this money anywhere somewhat privately, and you can have security over your Bitcoin, over your money. But Caspa is such a different beast than Bitcoin. It's like a utopia. You can go in and you can like basically try new businesses that you want to, right? And you can see if there's a demand because the infrastructure is solid. The security is solid, but also it's so damn fast. And so it's just a different beast. So, I mean, I get what you're
It's
saying,
the
right?
evolution, bro. Listen,
It is.
I'm laughing right now because I'm the first of three children, right? And
Mm-hmm.
my youngest brother does have a different dad, but like I see this in families. I know a couple NFL families. One of them that the one who's in the NFL is like the 11th, or he's the ninth of 11 that made it, and it's kind of like that, right? It's like if you look at the way shit works. My little brother is the most physically talented in our family, but I was pretty talented too. And it works the same way in everything. So I see the parallels in like real life versus even when I have these conversations with Bitcoiners, just have a conversation with them. You can feel their attachments because they're bag holders. They're holding, it's money, and money's important to a lot of people. But I come from the lens of, okay, I know how to make that. It's not that big of a deal. Okay, my bills are paid. Tell me the truth. How does this work? How are we going to use it?
Yeah.
What for? Right? If you get really basic with it, it's actually not that hard to see. But if you have these attachments to it, then you're going to be like, oh, it's you're going to go with all the meme shit and the dogmatic views. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, if you look at things for what they are, I mean, Caspa does everything Bitcoin can do way better, and it's not even. That's why we shouldn't even compare it. It's like, yeah, we can talk about it as reference. Like, hey, yeah, you know that Bitcoin thing? Okay, cool. Let me show you something.
Well, that's
Right?
yeah, that's always been a curious thing for me because we talked to a bunch of people throughout the week on the status of Caspa and how to talk about it and what it looks like and all these things. And again, what we do here live on the Caspa Standard is we talk truth. And is it absolutely true that everything Bitcoin does as a technology, Caspa does better? Like just as a technology,
Oh,
right?
100%. Of course.
Right. And if it already does, right, then the next question we can't answer. Well, then why isn't it as valuable in monetary terms as Bitcoin, right? Like, because that's the only comeback that they would have. So if you have all these Bitcoin shills and that are so tied to their bags, it's like, yes, you're right. Caspa's nominal value is nowhere near what Bitcoin's is. It should have a market cap akin to it. It should actually be 5x based on how it's not just can it do what Bitcoin does, which is yes, it can. It can do it more efficient and it can do it more secure because it's a different hash algorithm, period. So like there's the idea that, altcoin, shitcoin, all that stuff, it's so stupid because it's only based off of bags. It's not based off of truth. And it really like just bugs my mind that as much as we want to try to talk about it, or we want to try to push it and gain adoption and all this shit. It's like, yeah, what is true? Well, the last 3 days through, the X groups that we have or whatever, we're Cassia messaging like crazy, trying to figure out, does this work to live on the Kaspa standard this way? Right. And doing that as much as possible. Well, what Bitcoin messaging app do you have where every time you send a message, it benefits the base layer? Right. Cause Silver had tweeted, his wife doesn't care about crypto, but she's on Cassia messaging. And I'm like, yeah, how do I get my wife to do that? He basically said, that's how we protect our bag, right? Like, we don't have to text over Cassia, but doing it protects the bag. It shows transaction capability. No, the fees aren't that much, which is great for communication, right? And if you want to build a business where, let's say you need to track that communication, right? Like the logistics guy, right? Mm-hmm. So if this trucking company wants to track the logistics, the same way you track a package, go to FedEx, type in your number, all of those things. Imagine every time that message happened, it came to you instantly with a base layer transaction. It's now cryptographically proven that your package was in that place, right? Shouts to Rory and what he's building as well when it comes to logistics tracking of entities, right? Cryptographically proving things are in place at this time. It does benefit to do that. You don't have to, but it's so expensive to do it the other way. So doing these micro transactions over time, securing the network, is better than paying FedEx the additional $8 for tracking when it comes to a package, right? Or whatever it was back in the day. I think it's all included now, but you get my point, right? That continuing to do these things, like we're at the ground floor of everything.
Yeah.
Right? Everything in Kaspa, we're at the ground floor. It is so fucking early.
And here's the thing too, bro. It's like not enough people have experienced pain in order to really care at a high level. So when you, okay, right. So it's like, I think of my sales career and the reason I was able to separate myself and be a 1% producer. Sales has a negative connotation. People, because they think the car salesman, the pushy, the convincing, right? And the truth is what I would say separated me from most was that I knew how to listen more than I spoke, right? So being a good listener, I was able to be in conversations and have people just like literally have a conversation. And there wasn't this convincing. There was this, okay, I have something. If you have the problem and I have the solution, let me show you what I can do and how I can solve that. And
it's fulfilling a need.
Right. So when you have a natural human connection, it's really easy to do that. And that I say that also to speak to, that's what it's like coming to technologies like this, right? Who are the people that have benefited the most from Bitcoin? The ones that saw it early for what it could be. And I mean, I don't even hate on Bitcoin for what it had to adopt to. It had to adopt to, maybe for technological reasons, maybe for other reasons outside of Bitcoin's control. But at the foundational level of what it was trying to solve for, that isn't really talked about as much in Bitcoin anymore. And that's okay. Because we got Kaspa. Kaspa came to the market, right? And if you look at the foundation of how we speak on it and what its use case is, even today, right? It's like, Bishop speaks to it. Yeah, there's entities like the KII, and the logistics guy that I mentioned that are probably going to find reasons that this is going to be used at scale. And right now is a time to use these apps and just show people how easy it is. So it's super cool to hear, Kaspa Silver talk about. Can you guys still hear me? Because Bishop dropped off.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Myself off the stage. I'm trying to fix something.
Okay, cool. So yeah, like having, we're the early adopters. We're the early adopter to this, and it's really easy to get frustrated on, but when and why and this is what we should do. This is how we should do it. And I'm just I've seen this story in other things in my life over the past 25 years. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm showing up to this conversation. It's like I'm in a position. When I found Kaspa was in May of 2024, and I'm like, okay, I get it. Bitcoin's this has to be the next thing. And let me throw everything into it, right? And the market has brought me to my knees, right? Showed me the lessons that it needed to show me. I got to chill and not really have to make money for 2.5 years. I'm not in that position anymore. So I gotta build, and I'm cool. I've had to restart before. No big deal. I'll get it. I'll make it happen. Um, but I think that's another major lesson within this space, right? It's like for such a long time, people are just looking at it to put money there and see what happens. Where it's like, no, you gotta bring yourself to this and figure out how you can contribute to it, because this isn't a get rich quick type of deal. What were these cryptos created for? They were created to replace money. And yeah, there's a lot of other speculative coins out there, and projects, and that's fine, that's cool. That's, to me, that's no different than the stock market. But I do think we got to speak on the difference between proof of work, this solving for, again, the messaging, the data that can be sent back and forth. Us showing early on the show how you can transact literally from Miami, Florida to the Netherlands like that. That opens up a use case for so many things, right? Right now, we just see the messaging thing, we see the money thing. KI solving for industry facing issues.
Hmm.
So we are really early to this, and I just think the sooner you can get to not realizing, hey, let me put this in here and trade. This isn't a trading vehicle. There's other things for that. There's other, you can speculate on other things than that. Caspa's like, you got to come to this, put your energy in what you can, and then figure out how you can contribute and build and show people what it does. Because most people aren't going to understand. We're on here as nerds on a Monday having these conversations, talking about this, and this will be recorded. It'll be out there. But what some of the biggest impacts on understanding Bitcoin for me have been now, not listening to any of these influencers now. I've gone back to tapes from Andreas Antonopoulos, the earlier Roger Ver stuff, the guys that were talking about why Bitcoin needed to be used and why it was invented. So all
Hmm.
those things are really what have gotten me to see things the way I see them right now. And again, we're really early. That's exciting. That doesn't mean stop working. Doesn't mean stop producing. We still got to go out there and make shit happen.
Yeah, yeah, of course, of course. Yeah, no, and we are really early. I mean, what is this? We're not even, what are we? We got 4 years. Yeah, 4 years.
4.5 years. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it is early, but it's also, I mean, we're able to build on proof of work, which is, and it with a, with 10 BPS, and we're moving forward. So yeah, and I understand that we're early. And it's kind of like this new ground. And this is kind of this is what made me excited in the beginning. When I got on to Kaspa, I was like, holy shit, this is amazing. Like, I'm definitely taking a piece of my Bitcoin. I'm going to start buying Kaspa.
Yeah.
And this was, yeah, I think probably around when you did, maybe
2024, May.
2024. Yeah, 2024, mid 2024.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was
I
like,
aped in, bro. I aped in. I was like, oh, this is it. We're good. And yeah, yeah. And then I bought a lot more at the highs. I wasn't
yeah,
looking.
yeah,
I
yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
looking at the
yeah,
prices. But so for me, the lesson for me was like I could have started something. What I'm doing now, like I'm launching a couple things in the industry that I built in for well over 10+ years, and it'll take a couple months to get it rolling. But yeah, man, I'm working those muscles again. I was sitting pretty for a little bit, but that's what this
yeah,
that's what any of these things will do to you, man. If you just kind of sit back and chill and wait. It doesn't work that way. You got to put in the proof of work.
yeah. Well, no, I completely agree with
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
Keep buying Kaspa. I mean, even if it's, $10 a week, just do
exactly.
that. Something. Keep it on lock. Just keep it going. No, I agree with you. And I mean, for what we know, right? Like we lived a little bit in this world long enough to know, like, when you see a good product, when you see a good infrastructure, you know that the builders are going to come, and you know that there's use cases. I mean, we're early and we're getting these use cases and people are using it. And you just were speaking to it, that Cassia, what, 5,000 transactions in a day? Like,
Yeah,
yeah, it's small, but like within this community, that's pretty amazing. And when people understand this, and I actually had to explain this to my father, because I was like kind of talking to him because he didn't understand crypto. And of course I'm speaking to Caspa. I said, well, think of it like this, Dad. I said, when you want to send money, because he's old school, right? So he's like, oh, I'm going to go down and I'm going to get this, and I'm going to do Western Union. And I was like, ugh. And he's like, they wanted $100 for me to send like $1,000. And I was like, no, they didn't. He's like, yeah, they did. I said, you know what's crazy, Dad? Is that you could send $25 million across the world in probably under 2 seconds, and it would cost you a fraction of a cent. And he's like, "Are you kidding me?" And I was like, that's the tech we have. That's the
Exactly.
tech we have. I was
Yeah.
like, this is possible now. So understand that these banks and these businesses don't want to lose their cash cow. They don't want to lose their business of them making this money off of you. But as soon as this gets adopted, I mean, you already have the banks scared as shit because they want to be able to hold Bitcoin. They want to be able to hold crypto because they want to be able to make that profit off that money. Because, I mean, if we're realistically thinking about this, we don't need banks,
We do
like,
not.
right? We don't need them.
Correct.
As long as there's, I mean, as long as we have adoption or people, I mean, we have adoption well, I can only think of one right now is Tangem and how they're rolling out the card where they can take stable coins and transfer it into real money through a debit card. So, I mean, we are close, guys. We are getting there. This is going to change. It's going to change so much, but I'm not going to, I'm just saying anything anybody already doesn't know, but I'm excited for it to be like, okay, I can send this to somebody else. I don't have to have anybody's hands in it. It's just straight peer to peer and it's decentralized. It's safe. I ain't got to worry about it.
Yeah, man, and like think shout out to Egra. I know Egra's launching their layer 2 here really soon, but and Cascade. Speaking of them, like they're building a lending platform. I do think some of those things are important right now for the transition, right? Ideally, it would be beautiful if we could just use Caspa back and forth. But hey, let's be real. People are going to look at that and be like, oh, but it went down to 3 cents. And now it's 4. It's 5. That's going to be a thing for most people. And we got to be real about it. That's just
Oh yeah.
how it's going to be. So even though a stable coin isn't stable, we all know that if you do some research like that, there's nothing stable about a stable coin. It loses value over time. And we know the set number of Caspa that are going to come out. We still got some time here for the adoption and the usage of it. So there are tools out there. Like I personally, and I know a lot of people don't like this company because Caspa isn't listed on there, but I'll say this, Coinbase has made it really easy for me to so I understand my Caspa is my Caspa and my cold wallet. My Bitcoin is my Bitcoin and my cold wallet. And I looked into all the other Bitcoin, Unchained and all that. But I'm like, what's the easiest way for me not to hold fiat for that long? And I really try not to hold that much of it. I try to just hold whatever it is I need to pay my bills in. And then I keep my real money for me is the Caspa that I have in cold storage. And then what I need to use to participate in the system right now is like, okay, I'm going to use the Bitcoin because I see what's happening with Bitcoin and I can collateralize it on Coin. I don't have to talk to anybody. I can just put some Bitcoin on Coinbase. So let's say I had 10 grand in Bitcoin and I needed 2,000. I could go ahead and borrow two grand worth of fiat and pay the bills in that. And then I can go ahead and collateralize how much Bitcoin. And I don't need to talk to anybody. I can do that on my phone. And then Coinbase even has like a debit card that you can use that I can swipe on my phone. So like I literally don't. I've tried. This is something that I've done for the past, I want to say the past 6 months. So it is pretty new in terms of what's out there and available. People just don't know about it yet. But in studying all of this, it's the reason I've tried to completely offboard myself from fiat. But it's really difficult to do that. And that's for me. I mean, if anybody could share how they're trying, it's really hard not to use fiat right now. They make it nearly impossible. But ideally, it'd be beautiful.
I am curious about that process, Juan. So you're leveraging your Bitcoin or your
Not my Bitcoin.
I'm sorry, right?
I'm leveraging Bitcoin in the fiat system.
Bitcoin.
Yeah, that's not my
Right.
Bitcoin. Yeah.
Through custodial.
Yes.
You gave it up to custodial because at some point you had an acquisition and then you go, here, custodial, you can have it because I need fiat back.
Correct.
Okay. Now, I know this is separate too. So in doing that, we had this conversation before and I'll just give the brief, right? When you got liquidated, my thought was, I feel bad that you don't get that anymore, but they also gave you the cash value for it anyway, right? So
I used the cash, right? I used it to live. Correct.
So it's not like it got stolen from you.
Nope.
Like you gave it to them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And here, and to clarify here, and to have you keep going, right? It was like I got liquidated the amount that I used. So all that I used, and then the other percentage, they liquidated on Coinbase. They liquidated 86%. So I got the remaining 14% in Bitcoin, and I converted all that to Kaspa. right?
So it's win-win.
And then I moved most of it to cold storage, and then I was like, all right, I know the game now. But if I need to play that game, I'm going to. And like I shared, I haven't generated a lot of fiat, so that's the only reason I'm doing that. But as soon as I
So
start generating this money again, like all of that's coming off. I
yeah,
want the Kaspa in cold storage.
yeah. I think I'm gonna do a like a separation of assets here, because there has to be a a go long fund, right? Like like let's just say I take 50,000 Caspa, right, and I put it over here, so when it hits $20, there's $1 million, right? Like just so I also don't use it for anything else. But I am curious at the Coinbase debit card, because when you are doing that, I know there's transactions on the back end being had. Are those similar to what a regular credit card transaction is, or because all of it is custodial that the percentages are less because they hold that shit anyway?
No, it's so the way the Coinbase, it's a debit card. So again, the collateral is the Bitcoin. So let's say it's 10 grand in collateral that I put up for the Bitcoin. I can actually, and if I took out 2 grand, the loan to value there is 20%.
Right.
So I'm good. That's where I want to keep it. That's about where I keep it. Right. So I'll have enough Bitcoin in there that I won't suffer on these, big ass drawbacks, and they won't liquidate me again. That was a major lesson. The 2 grand turns into USDC. The USDC is that's what I use on the debit card. And and I use it in my wallet. So I have an iPhone. I use the wallet, and I tap to pay. And on top of that, they give 0.5%, 0.5 Bitcoin for every transaction, 0.5% on every transaction in Bitcoin. So I've gotten a little bit of Bitcoin extra, which I then send to Kraken, and then I turn that into Kaspa. I got a whole system going, bro. Yeah.
No. Well, I'm curious. So that 2 grand that converts to USDC, is there then a fee to do that? Are you losing any of the 2 grand?
Let me take that back. I believe that I do pay like a monthly, because I buy some Bitcoin. Like I manage my family's funds, and my dad wants Bitcoin for the same reasons. We kind of use the same method for him. So I think I pay, I want to say it's $29.99 a month for like the trading fees. So I can buy like up to $10,000 worth of Bitcoin and not be charged for any of it. So no, there's no fee. There's no fee in converting or taking, again, it's taking the loan out against the Bitcoin to turn that into USDC. Which is the quickest and fastest way for us to use Bitcoin, by the way. So like I look at it like I'm using Bitcoin, but I'm actually using the USDC. That's what we've been forced to do.
Yeah, you can only use it as a leveraged asset, so you have to stay fiat in order to use Bitcoin.
Yeah. But there's no fee to convert it. There's no fee to convert it. There's no fee to use it. So just think however you use the debit credit card, and however much, so if you had a credit card, you would have the credit in 2 grand. I have the debit, and I use the debit like that. Yeah.
At least they don't try to gouge you every step of the way.
It feels gross though. Like I'm gonna tell you how it feels. It doesn't, we're talking about it right now because we're live on the Kaspa Standard, but it's not like ideally how I would love to function. That's why I'm getting this business going. So as soon as I get cash flow going again, I'll share whatever it is I'm doing. Because I think it's important. I think it's important to talk about this and let people know the options that are out there.
Yeah, Juan, and I agree with you, brother. And also, I mean, what it looks like is that these SEXs are trying to position themselves for they want to be the banks. So we're going to see this big transition and see how this works.
Exactly. No, and think about what we've seen from Brian Armstrong, fighting the Clarity Act and all that. Because here's the other thing too. Like I don't know how it is for you guys, but I can't remember the last time I got yield on having money in a checking account or savings account. In a bank. I've banked with Bank of America, Chase, most of my business professional life. Like I've always been of the mindset that I need to go out there and make money. And I've been on this wheel 25 years and I've been able to produce. I've always been a producer. Sitting back and studying this stuff as much as I have the past 2 years, I'm like, most people can't. How are you going to keep up, man? Like I've made a lot of money and it's still not that easy. I understand I live in Miami and my expenses are what they are, but it's hard out there, man.
It is hard.
It's hard
100%.
out there. Like how are people doing this? They're lying to themselves, probably racking up that credit, And that's got to be stressful as shit, man, because I can feel it. I can feel it. It's like I have enough to put, to turn it into Bitcoin because I kind of have to use it to pay the bills that I got to pay. So yeah, it can't be easy out there. I just,
Bro, it's definitely not easy. I mean, we've lost just since 2020, we've lost 25% of our purchasing
there
power
you
with the
go, bro.
dollar.
No, and people are feeling
That's
it, man.
insane. Like it's crazy. Like, I mean, I have my own business, but I also have 3 other jobs. So like, I mean, it's turning into like, to get by, it has to be a gig economy, and you can get the money where you can get it. So you can at least have some freedom with your time for your family or for your business.
Oh, for
I
sure.
feel you, Buffalo. I mean,
That tweet circulates around every once in a while too, with the the purchasing power back in the 50s and 60s and 70s and 80s, and the percentage of 30-year-olds with houses, and the stat that they always leave off of there is the amount of kids that people had too. In the 50s, my grandparents had one job each. They were both home by 5, and until my grandmother started having kids, they had 4, and she stopped working. Right. My grandfather had one job, just a regular line worker at General Motors. They bought a house, had 4 kids, no sweat. They paid that. It was a 13% interest rate on that house too. My dad told me all about 13% interest rate on the house. They paid it off every single month for 30 years, and it was done. 4 kids, no sweat, no nothing. My grandfather retired from General Motors, went to work at a gas station because why not? He had nothing else to do. His kids are out of the house, sees his grandkids whenever. My grandmother started sewing from out the house to stay busy. Like literally, they were able to have a one job where he can work for 30 years, have a pension, a house, and 4 fucking kids. And now, Buffalo, you told us a bit of your story. You just turned 40. You got 3 jobs. You would love to build a family. If this was the 50s, you'd be 15 years into building that family off of
oh
one job.
yeah. No, I mean, I can relate. I mean, I'm 44. It's like I have Bishop. You and I have one kid, but it's like we're good dads, man. You don't think I'd want to have like 5 or 6 if I could. What's been a big part of it is like even though I've made money and bro, studying this money has had me understand how I've been in relationships. Like it's I've gone that deep. Like okay, damn, it explains a lot. And then you go back to the 71 event when we depeg gold. That's where it all, a lot of the issues really start there. Once the government could print all that they could print and deflate us away and us not really understand it, not have conversations about it, not educate us in school about it, you know, unless you've been a crazy producer, and it's really hard to produce in this world, man. It's like I shared this, bro. Like my body was sacrificed. Like I had the brain and the mind, but my body got sacrificed. And I said no more 7 years ago. And it was really hard, really difficult. And it's part of the reason I'm single and divorced. Like there was just a lot of disconnect and I needed to get myself right. But yeah, man, there's hope now. I think there's hope. And I just want a better future for, you and I have kids, man. And I know Buffalo wants kids. So
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
like
no.
we gotta, this has to work out, man. This has to work out. And it's,
It really does. And to speak to what we're talking about, like the compound destruction uh of everything. I mean, when you think about this, right? When you consider the taxes that we pay historically are so crazy high, like your average person pays about 20, was it between 22 to 27% in federal tax? I live in California, so I get taxed 13%. And that's not even talking, dude. I'm not even talking about that. I drove out yesterday in gas was 490 to 520 a gallon.
damn, bro.
Okay. So then I want you to think about, then we have 10% sales tax. And then I don't want to talk about the DMV and how much they charge me. And then I'm looking at all this, and then I'm looking at the fraud that we have that is even ruined. Like it's making it so much worse. I mean, we're not even talking about getting off the gold standard. I'm talking about how the government is in a deficit because if they are positive, then they don't need more taxes. But if they're at a deficit, then they can take even more from us. And then those taxes go up and then we have inflation. So, I mean, we're getting squeezed in a way that, I mean, and I'm 40. I'm only 40. I've never seen it this bad ever. Although I'm sure that when it comes to fraud and the misuse of funds through local and, through local, state and federal government, it's really bad. So if you have all this money going to these certain people and it's off the backs of electricians, of, food workers, of whatever, just the people trying to get by, and they're just coming back to the table asking for more and more and more and more. And they put a law here that if you don't pay them, you go to jail. Like it's not even just slavery.
Yeah.
It is an abuse of power, of monetary power that it's like, I don't want to pay taxes anymore. Like the amount of taxes that I paid in my entire life, just that amount went to funding education on like, what was it? Like how to sex change a fucking iguana. I don't know. I'm being extreme, but it's
But
that
there's a bunch of
extreme.
bullshit out there like that it has been used. You're throwing a joke in there, but it's true. Like if you want to go deep into this and go research it, Buffalo's not lying. There's dumbass shit that they spend our money on. And
Yeah.
yeah, man. Like I feel you on that, brother. It's rough. It's
It's
tough.
it's so ridiculous, dude. Do you know? And this, I'm just going to give an example. This was 10 years ago. I was living in a town, like a small town outside of Sacramento, and um, it was probably, I think the amount of people in the town, I don't even think it hit 100,000, right? And the local government, the general, what was he? He wasn't the mayor. I can't remember his position. He was like the coordinator, like the county coordinator, and he was making over 325,000 a year. He showed up to work once a month.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. The bureaucracy's a motherfucker, and I agree with you, man. Like,
So
we won't get too political, and I don't want to
yeah.
I don't want to rally you up, but
No.
your state governor, right? I know no one is a fan of. I'll say it, right. I lean Democrat, and when I see that Gavin Newsom is going to be a potential leader in the Democrat for the next president, I asked Grok several times because I knew these stats were close to that, but it's crazy. Your state's economy in California is number one in GDP, right? You guys have more money than anyone else when it comes to income from taxes and what the state produces.
Yeah.
All of your infrastructure and social programs are in the bottom 40s. So if you're not like 45, you're 46, 47, 8 when it comes to streets and roads and childhood education and other social programs. It's like it's ridiculous to have all that money and be misused. And if this guy can't run your state, how the fuck is he going to run a country?
We're in more than 100 billion in debt. We're in a deficit
crazy. In one state.
In one state.
In one state, and it's
that we know about.
I wanted to also.
Go ahead.
Hey guys, I just want to say hi. Yeah, I mean, I want to say also, I really don't feel like it's a Democrat or Republican problem either, because when I lived in California, there was Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I distinctly remember under him that there was days where the bus wasn't working because there was no budget for it. They had run dry on budget. So yeah, I mean, I really feel like it's a across the board issue as well. But
it's absolute bureaucracy more than it is party. Party is just a way to get us to argue. That's it, and because we all have families, we all have friends, we all look different, sound different. Even in our own families, we look different and sound different, right? And we have different experiences and different lives, and different things affect us differently. I have 2 rental properties, so I have a pickup truck that uses a shit ton of gas. I want gas low, right? I can't really buy a Cybertruck for that business. So I would be interested in someone who wants those gas prices to come down, just for a small example. But not everyone has that. Juan works from home. What does he care about gas prices, right? Seriously, like what interest would he have? So what it is, as Buffalo was explaining, like that bureaucracy that forces him to have 3 jobs just so he can pay that amount of taxes is fucking crazy. We see it with athletes all the time. Why did he sign with Houston? Why did he sign with Miami? Oh, the weather's nice. No, motherfucker, there's no state taxes in Texas and Florida. So that paycheck that would get taxed an extra 10 or 11% out by Buffalo is not getting taxed that much in Florida or otherwise. So the Yankees can't pick up guys like that anymore. I mean, the Dodgers don't care. They'll just fucking throw everyone $1 billion. But anyway, that's kind of my stick on that, is that if you're going to be part of bureaucracy and I'm going to support you, show me where you do well within this bureaucratic system to benefit people, before I can even support anything, because it's ridiculous out here. It is ridiculous.
I mean,
that's where the sovereignty is gonna really hold firm, is you having all of your chips right next to you until you make the choice to get it taxed, till you make the choice to have it, be a part of that bureaucratic system. And real quick, Jesse Ventura, when he was the governor of Minneapolis, he was asked if he would ever run for president. And he said, I would, but I wouldn't because I want a national sales tax and get rid of federal income tax. He said that shit 25 years ago, 30 years ago, whenever he was the governor. And I was like, holy shit. Ever since then, I'm like, look, I live in Delaware. There is no sales tax at all. But if I get to keep my federal income taxes and you're just going to tax my lifestyle, I think I could vibe with that, because I'm smart with my money, and that's just it's not an option we have on the table because the bureaucratic system is so deep.
I just don't trust any of them, man. That's why for me, I've been an entrepreneur. Let me go produce and figure this out, not pay attention to, I did not pay attention to politics for 10 years. My friends would fight back and forth. I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm making money. That's all. But what I didn't understand was the hamster wheel that I was on. It's like, okay, I'm gonna have to make fucking millions of dollars in order to live the way I'm thinking in my head. And I'm with how Elliot's talking about. It's just like, what do the systems do? They get us to just, I'm on team human. I don't give a shit who's running the country. I don't have any comment towards any of that. I'm trying to build a little ecosystem in my own. It starts with me, my family, make sure we're taken care of. What are the rules? Okay, cool. Let me work within those rules. But now there's this thing called Kaspa. Bitcoin started it. Kaspa is a thing. I understand it at a very deep, energetic, spiritual level. And it's like, I get that I need to participate in the system. Like I have a social security number. I was born in Panama, but I was born an American citizen. My father served 20 years in the military. I'm American, even though I look like this, brown and all that, right? Like Bishop talks about, like, I'm on team human. I'm no different than the next person who just wants to do what they need to do and not be fucked with, man. So I'm going back to those times when I didn't pay attention to any of that bullshit. That's why I don't turn on the TV. I don't entertain any of that crap. It doesn't fucking mean anything to me. To begin with, I know the rules. I know what I got to do. I know I have to pay tax. Like you, Buffalo, bro, I try not to pay as much as I don't need to. I'm in Florida. There's no state income tax here. There's some benefits here, but it's not fucking easy out there. And I think speaking to it is important though. Speaking to it and then letting people know.
Yeah.
There's an opt out to this, right? Like these are digital commodities, by the way. They're taxes. Bitcoin's taxed as property. So talking about the example that I used with Coinbase, like the money I got liquidated on, I'm going to have to fucking pay capital gains taxes on that. But I should have been smarter. But if what do rich people do? Rich people they have assets and they borrow against those assets and they don't ever pay those fucking loans back. So our government doesn't pay it back. I'm not paying my shit back if I don't have to either.
Yeah.
I'll pay the capital gains tax that I have to pay. But I know the system. So I encourage people to go out there and learn the rules and fucking try to gamify that. And that's what we're here talking to. It's like, how can we gamify this? And it's not about picking sides, man. It's really about, you figuring out how you can function and vibe within the rules and gamifying this as much as you can. I wanted to, there were a couple things in the chat, Bishop, that I just wanted to highlight really quick. So you mentioned STP he had a couple questions. He said he's coming back next week.
Okay. Apologies, STP.
Yeah, and then Aurelius, I saw that you did request to come up and speak. So if you still want to, you can. But he mentioned here, I think it's a good idea to create a sort of eBay where you can only pay with Kaspa. That's what Kasmart is, right?
Right.
Yeah. Right. So we got Kasmart, Aurelius.
Similar. And I reached out to Kaspi to see if he can come on today because he's gone through like a little bit of a rebranding and.
Oh, that's him. He's on here.
Yeah, okay. He's on here. Yeah. And also shouts to Elliot. I didn't see your comments when it came to the technical difficulties, but I did bring them up after I kind of fixed it. What it looks like is we have to kind of figure out a better way to display the cast map and the spaces, because there was no audio for like the first hour.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll download the video, I'll download the audio, I'll merge them together, and we'll have a clean video eventually when it comes to this episode. But Elliot's last comment, as I'll throw it up there in the live stream.
I think X is having technical problems today because, like, when I open the chat, I can only see my messages. I can't see other people's messages. I think there's some issues with X today.
Yeah, X is kind of messed up too. There was something going on my side. So I even had to switch my headphones. When I'm wearing Bluetooth, it's a virtual cable instead of a hard line, and I don't have to split things. So we're 17 shows in, and we're not tech people. We're figuring it out, you know.
Yeah, we're gonna keep messing up too, by the way. So don't expect perfection.
For sure. Were there more?
And then I want to
say,
so there,
the sound was working on YouTube, X, and vivoor at the same time during the first hour. I had them all turned on.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. My son sent me a text message like, I can't hear it. I can't hear you guys. I'm like, oh, okay. So, but yeah, I'll take a look and see what the problem was. At the time I did look it up, there was some issues that I was trying to fix, and we're here now. I know it's working good now. But thank you for that, Seb. I do want to figure out how to get that nice and clean though, because that was fun to have that cast map visual.
Yeah. By the way, I just updated the two globes. So if you are going to look, the universities are gone, and the other has now the option to turn around, or how do you say it? The globe to be turning.
Nice.
So, yeah. So, if anybody else also has some requests, often it can be implemented rather fast.
I wish I was that brilliant.
I already had it before, so for me it was just to turn it on, double check it in the development environment, and then push it out. I haven't looked at it. I just hope it works also because I really just pushed it out.
Yeah, it looks good.
Nice.
It looks rotation on, click it, rotation off. That's fun.
Nice.
That's fun.
I wanted to highlight Brock's comments too. He said, just going into the conversation that we were having, he's like, there's a reason why they don't show us the chart of the dollar down 98% since 1913. It's true. You know, you see that when you start studying this money stuff and Bitcoin and Kaspa, that's when you see all that and it pops up. But it's hidden. They don't want us to know that. You know what I'm saying?
No, it's a bummer. It's a bummer because we even grow up going, well, yeah, you know, things just got a little bit more expensive. And the
just what it is. That's just how it is. Like,
yeah, nothing got more expensive.
It's inflation. What's inflation? I mean, we have to do that. Prices go up. That's just what happens, right?
No, it's just a true inability to take care of each other is where it came from, you know, because what we're doing now, honestly, is we're leveraging the idea of saving within what we would consider sound money as opposed to a fiat system, right? Like, okay, it's still an idea. Like, okay, Kaspa is sound money, right? Kaspa is going to be an asset that should be deflationary because they can't print more of it. And
it speaks like, how much do you know about? Have you looked into the difference between the Keynesian economic model versus Austrian economic?
No, we talked about it once. Yeah.
Okay. You know who I know? Seb, you still there? I know Seb's. Okay, I know Seb knows a lot about this topic. So again, I don't know if I'm confident enough to speak about the specific differences, but I know that the model and the way we consume and live right now, it's very Keynesian. It's about, you know, the time preference with how our system is set up right now. It's about spending. It's about consuming. And then the Austrian is more about like a longer time preference, a free market. You know, people, if you give them incentives, that they maybe are going to save their money, but they're going to build qualitier products. We're just going to be better with each other. That's again going back to the natural state of the free market's deflationary. Technology spreads to everyone. Yeah, amongst so many things, but that fascinated me because I never understood that difference either. But once I started learning, and for me, that's a pretty new thing that I just discovered about a couple of years ago that I'm still learning a lot about. And I know, Seb, I know you've
Yeah.
talked a lot about that. If there's anything you can, add into that.
Yeah, well, personal story, true story was when I was in high school. I was, I think, 15 years old. And of course, we got to learn about the price wage spiral. And it was, for me, it just didn't make any sense because if that is true, just stop with it 1 year and you get rid of all the inflation. And I got into a pretty heated argument with my economics teacher, who of course only has been learning himself about now let's call it mainstream economics, and he doesn't know any better. And I think that's one of the craziest thing in our whole economics or education system is that even the people who are learning to be a teacher on economics only get a one-sided, one side of the information, really, and they don't have the depth, the historical depth of the discussions that have been going on, for say 200 years ago. So because they don't know about those discussions, they only are living inside their own echo chamber of what is being taught at school at this moment or the last 50 or 100 years. But they don't have the ability to look outside that window. And of course, Austrian economics is one of the paths of looking at the economy, and that is not being taught. So it's very hard to have a discussion with anybody because they don't like talking about fringe economics as they see it. But to be honest, what is really fringe is what we are living in today. We are living. People have made choices over 100 years ago about how to make the economy work, and politicians never look back. They don't have an incentive really to look back. This is made to accommodate unsound politics because you can lend and get more things done without having to pay immediately. So most politicians like it like this, and the whole system benefits from it, or at least on an individual level, people benefit from it, even though it's on the other side also turning against everybody who's living inside of this economy. So it's and getting out of it will be painful, one way or the other. And I think as an individual, you can try to opt out, try to make yourself anti-fragile, and also have assets that are not directly related to the system that we are living in. So that can be either foreign fiat, so not just if you are living in the Netherlands like I do, not just the euro, but also have if you are banking, also have a bank outside the eurozone. These days you can have like USDC, for instance, stable coins, but they are also, of course, backed by, in this case, then USD. If you are somebody from the United States, you might have also a little bit of euros, also outside of your normal banking system. And other options are, of course, just coins like Bitcoin, like Kaspa, but also silver, gold, and or also having access to, for instance, dividend-paying stocks that also can provide you with income. But you have to make sure it's not only from your own country, because all these times that the economy structure breaks down, it's often correlated with either your own money supply or the whole economy of the country itself. And you see it that it repeats itself every time. A country goes broke, the system breaks down, and everybody gets locked out of their banks. You can only withdraw a little bit, and any foreign assets gets if you have like foreign assets, you can only get back 10% worth of it, something like that. So USD gets converted to euros, and a day later, by force, for instance, and a day later they devalue the euros. Stuff like that can happen, and it has happened many times before.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
yeah, so it's a little bit broader than just Austrian economics, I think. You have to make sure you are, as an individual, you try to make yourself more, I call it, is a term I lent, anti-fragile, to be able to withstand shocks, either personal shocks because life happens, but also macroeconomic shocks.
Yeah, and I mean, I like that term anti-fragile, and I think that's been a major lesson for me because as I've shared, I've done a really good job of being a producer, not until maybe 5-7 years, and again, I'm in my mid-40s, and I really thought about, okay, long term, because I felt like I always, I can go out and make 10, 20, 30, 40 grand in a month if I need to. That's how I thought. But what I didn't understand that was happening at the time was, oh yeah, this money that I have that I'm depending on, that I'm just banking on, is being devalued at like ridiculous rates. And that's why, and like going back and studying this and understanding, and I appreciate you answering it and giving us your views. But with Austrian economics, I just feel that it's more aligned with how we work, how natural we would function if things weren't forced on us. And then I look at the Keynesian model, which is really about consumerism. It's about, it's the dollar to me represents what the Keynesian model is about. And that's, no, we need to inject liquidity. We need to set the price of money, inflation. We got to have that fluctuate. And to me, that's a crazy concept too, because you're trying to, at this point, it's essentially you're trying to set a market for consumerism all throughout the world. And now we have tools that measure economic activity all throughout the world. And Kaspa is solving to do that in real time decentralization all throughout the world. So these tools like Kaspa, you mentioned Bitcoin, gold, silver, these things that exist outside the system are economic tools that really give you more of your, help you be anti-fragile, like Seb talked about, and just really brings home that sovereignty aspect that a lot of people think, oh, who really cares about that? And my take on that is, well, people don't care about it because they don't really know about it. They've never experienced that. We've always been in this system. We were all born into this. So unless you've been that person who's asked the questions of like, well, why does it work that way? And I've personally been that way most of my life. The more and more I learn, the more like the natural course of how things work is what makes sense. So for me, it's a very spiritual thing, aligning to things that are natural, not forcing my way into shit, not fighting, like why is this person saying things this way? Why are they saying it that way? Oh, here's what the real source and the real problem is. And then aligning it, like you said, being anti-fragile. So diversifying yourself, figuring out where you can put your energy, your money, Yeah,
Yeah,
I
but
think all of that's important.
what you are saying about more Austrian economics is more aligned with the natural state of things, and that is true. And because Keynesianism is more of an artificial produce of policy. Because, for instance, if you are looking at money and the value of money, the natural state is if there is, the natural state is that there is a deflationary economy because people are improving their production. So the moment you are producing more efficiently, relatively seen, everything gets cheaper. So deflation is a normal state. And from Keynesian, oh my God, Keynesian
That's good. We got you.
economy, they always want to have like, for instance, now 2% inflation.
Yeah.
So it's the opposite of what is natural. And also, instead, you were saying it's all consumption. So the debt is even consumption debt. Instead of, from an Austrian point of view, you would say people save and use it as an investment. And so there people are investing. And so that's totally different. Two
And
totally
the money,
different concepts.
yeah. And the money keeps its, think about in a natural state, right? Like if we're going out there and producing and we are saving in a sound system that doesn't that deflates, you actually need less and less over time. So it makes sense that, us humans who we all grow and eventually die, over time, we're not going to need as much money because technology is going to make things better. We're going to produce at levels like the more and more people that there are, it's going to essentially have this natural, like socialistic aspects of it. And I'm not a socialist, or capital. I'm not looking at it from that way. So I know I use that word, and it's a word that triggers people, but it's not that. It's like, listen, not everybody's an entrepreneur like Juan. Not everybody can go out there. I know I have a gift, and it's a gift that I've developed over 25 years. It takes a long time to do this. Not everyone can build a cast maps like Seth, but think of what he's doing within the ecosystem of Kaspa and how this can connect people and what's the potential of, somebody doing business with someone, or the connection that Seb and I have. I've said, hey, whatever I can do to help with this, I'm on board. Right. And because I'm an entrepreneur in the energy that I'm in, like, I know that I'm not looking for, Seb and I don't talk about like dollar amounts or how that's going to benefit me, and I think that's more of like a Keynesian type of, well, what am I going to get for this? Right.
Yeah.
Where it's, when you're naturally giving of yourself, you're going to receive in excess. In excess, and unfortunately, most people haven't gotten to experience that because we're in a system where literally like salaries are created out of the debt that we have, right? In order to give somebody a salary, well, I got to guarantee you this 40, 50 grand for the year, but here's what you have to do for me. And that now you're essentially a slave to the system. Now it's like, okay, now I need you here 50, 60 hours a week. And you're almost giving your value to this dollar figure that isn't your true value. And that is hard to wrap your head around, right? And, I know I've said it just like that again, not to trigger people, but to get people to think. It's like you have an opportunity to do that, saving your energy in sounder systems. So like, I don't think it's just Kaspa anymore. I did for a while. I didn't think it was just Bitcoin. I think it's, like Seb is talking about, being anti-fragile and, what makes sense to you? Like holding a little bit of gold, silver, some of these commodities, like real shit. Money isn't a thing. Money is it's a tool to get us the things. So like the more
Yeah.
you have of it, the more shit you can do, right? The more, that's why I fucking had a little bit of money. So I could go to Berlin and meet Elliot, meet Seb. Like that's the only reason. It's like I've been able to produce economically. And I've had these, with these digital little things that tell me they're worth a certain amount. So I can go do shit. It's the stuff that I get to do that you want to do, not that you want the fucking money. Like,
I wanted
Real
to,
quick,
if I
real
can
quick,
just
Elliot.
jump in.
I just
Yeah,
want
go
if I
ahead,
can
go
just
ahead.
jump in here real quick. Yeah, so first of all, I really appreciate the deeper theoretical conversation around economics. But I was just thinking that for the average investor, I really think that somehow Kaspa needs to drive home this concept of getting on board with an appreciating asset and an appreciating currency. Because I think that this will resonate with a lot of people who are seeing the purchasing power go down. The average investor is not going to understand all the mechanisms of debt-based fiat money, but what they can understand very easily is that there's an alternative currency that is appreciating in value, unlike other fiat or other currencies that are depreciating in value.
But do you think they actually see that? Because the average person's going to be like, oh no, Casper's at 3 cents. Now it's at 2.5 cents. Like, no, let me get out of this. I think
Yeah.
that's what the average person sees. Like,
I do think it's a great idea though, because that is what's lacking is the forethought, but I don't think the forethought, because I think I just wrote it down. Appreciation of asset, right? Like, even though monetarily, Caspa's gone from 9 cents to 3 cents in the last 3 months, right? So like the value's going down, but the tech behind it has been going up.
and
And
that's
this is
hard
what I
for
was
people to see, right? Like,
yeah, and that's what I was getting at in the beginning of this part of the discussion was, as much as we want to save in what this sound money looks like, what if it doesn't catch on, right? Then we're wrong based on how Keynesian everyone's being while we're trying to be Austrian, right? So we kind of have to shift that narrative, and I think that's the brilliance of Caspa right now is when we're doing Casilla messaging, even though it's just something simple like Casilla messaging, we are showing the utility of this appreciating asset. That we are trying to avoid the inflationary aspects of other things by showing true use case of what Caspa is. And if that can be something that outpaces other projects or cryptocurrencies or what have you, then that's what we need to talk about. So I do think Elliot's got a point here.
I think that's a fair point, but I think, I mean, this is something that we're having discussions with Caspa marketing is also, not only the right message for the right people, but at the right time. So I agree with you. One is probably right now would not be the time to really drive home that message, but when there is a wave, I think that would be the right timing
oh yeah,
because
I'm with that 100%. I'm with you there.
Yeah.
that's how you amplify when you're on a
Yeah.
wave.
Yeah, and right now is the time to prepare to get the community educated on, again, right now is the time to have these conversations, because sentiment unfortunately is low because most people are looking at things in nominal terms. So I think it's time to go a little bit deeper, like sharpen the saws, have the conversations, and then you're right, like it's inevitable that it's coming. We don't know when, but that's when. And then when the normies get on, yeah, hey, here's why you want to keep it, or have those conversations. So I'm with that. I agree there.
I want to do a quick interactive ad break because I was going to look for a cup of coffee and I was like, you know what? I got my Focus Melts right next to me. So shouts to Better Melts getbettermelts.com, promo code LOTKS for 50% off any size package that you want. As I mentioned, I cut mine into quarters just to make sure I can feel the effects. And if I got to grow, I'll grow. But cheers. All right. Beyond that, go ahead. Where are we at?
I had a random question. Do you think that, because I'm actually hearing this a lot, both in the US and in Europe, of people looking to move or change locations, either because of the tax situation in their country is changing, or just to be able to, live in a place where the euro or the dollar goes further? Maybe in the ideal world, there would be a place for Caspians to relocate or spend some time somewhere.
Rosario's Island, Bishop.
I mean, that is one possibility in Sicily, but what's Puerto Rico giving? What's Panama
Yeah,
giving?
it's interesting. I haven't looked that deep into it. I am my son's at a really, so for me, just speaking from personal, I don't, I'm over Miami because of all the things that I've learned about the money and why I've really spent it the way I've spent it for 17 years living here. Bishop and I have had some conversations. He's talked about him owning some real estate. And, where I am right now, I'm like, okay, having to restart here and generate the fiat again. It, talking about, cause we didn't get into it in the beginning, Bishop, about like how we lived on the Casper standard. But for me,
Oh, that's
straight up, it's been challenging getting into that energy after being in this energy of, really participating within the Casper community. And I'm building business, and I'm remembering what it's like to grind in this energy. It's not easy. Like we talked about with Buffalo. Um, so it's just like trying to get that going up again. There's a lot of energy pool with it. So yeah, Elliot, I mean, I feel that that's what people are, gravitating towards, especially when they learn about, this ecosystem, or they're trying to figure out where they can move their money or how they can keep their money, right? So I think that's probably always been a thing, but I do see that being an energy shift where more people are becoming more cognizant, more aware of that. I can speak for myself. I definitely am, and that really for me just happened, within the past couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, for me specifically, it's not necessarily the tax situation or the dollar situation. Um, you know, I lost my job in June, and it's been a tough go. So August of 23, I lost a job I had for 7 years because they shut down operations in Delaware. They moved it to Indiana, didn't offer us relocation. So here's a severance, go find something. Since then, it's been a nightmare trying to find a job. It just hasn't worked out for me no matter what I've gone into. And this last one in June, um, I've had all these conversations. I got buddies in the UK that I literally asked them, like, hey, what's it like by you guys? Like, how can, I look to relocate job market wise, economic wise, all this stuff. And they gave me some really good insights. And the number one thing that made us think about the UK or Canada is the socialized healthcare. Because for us with a child, the way we live, my wife works in healthcare. We know what it's like to have basically free healthcare. Her job right now gives her a stipend every month that covers our health insurance. So we don't have to pay health insurance. In order for her to leave that job, we have to find a similar combination in salary and benefits to be able to compensate for that. Juan, I can't imagine as an entrepreneur, you looking for healthcare.
I'm in shape, bro. I don't go see
I,
doctors.
well,
but
it's
but
about
I
the
but I feel
title.
you. No, but I feel you.
Yeah.
Like if I
So
wasn't like this, I would
yeah,
completely be
no,
thinking, I
it's
get it. I get it.
and look, I've had 3 back surgeries, right?
Yeah.
So I'm always a subject for something going wrong, and to have that coverage and our mental health as well. Like I go to therapy once a week. It's a $15 copay. Without insurance, it's a $155 visit.
That's what I'm
So in order to be an entrepreneur, that's an extra $145 a week that we would have to make to cover what insurance helps us have. But in a socialized system, that's free because it's for the people. And I'm not saying that it needs to be socialized medicine. I just know that, per Elliot's question, the infrastructure in which provided for you as a human, yes, it would be nicer to not have to think about one of, what does this job offer in benefits? Why is that even a question? That's something that really does mess with us when it comes to selecting a job because we're aware of what that infrastructure is. Because I mean, my wife's been working in healthcare for 15 years, so she's had jobs where they've had this particular thing where basically benefits are free with great copays. She's had high benefits with shit copays. So like and that's the other thing. There's a fucking spectrum of it. Why?
In
Why?
social countries, it's not free, just to make that clear, because you really do pay in the taxes. So it is better in some ways because everything is
Shoot.
like the NHS in the UK or in Germany under the Krankenkasse. Everything is very well. Um, everything's under one umbrella basically, so it works very well. But you are definitely paying in the taxes, whereas in the US you would just be paying that private.
Sure, sure. And I think what bothers me the most is the fact that it's even a marketplace. It's literally called that, a healthcare marketplace. And because it's been capitalized, to be a fee-based system to where how does this one person or how does everyone at every level get paid for what this is? It just makes it harder on the person. We've talked about this before when it comes to how kind of money works. specifically in America, but like everyone has to get paid first. You know, something that Juan and I have been discussing, you know, potentially we can get into, you know, as us working together in the fiat world, there's a specific thing where like the layers of who gets paid is like crazy
It's insane.
because you have, yeah, like even look, shouts to Neo, right? These betterments. Okay. If you go buy these right now, because it's not crypto integrated and it's not just peer to peer with Kaspa, you have to go to the website. I believe it's Shop or Shopify is the link, right? But your credit card company gets paid, the Shopify link gets paid, then Neo gets paid. Like it's all these layers. Why isn't my healthcare here, I paid my insurance. Oh, well, now you have a deductible. Now you have a copay. Now you have, you know, an out of pocket expense. And like every little step you go, somebody takes a piece. So I get you, Elliot, and I'd be cool with an upfront cost as long as I don't have to pay shit on the back end, because then you know what you're getting into. You know, same thing with car insurance out here. If you pay, you know, $150 a month for car insurance, you get into an accident, what's the first thing you gotta do? You gotta pay your fucking deductible. But what do you mean? I just been paying insurance for the last 10 years and no accident. What's
Insane.
that? You know, it's just all of that shit, man. It's really, really tough, man. And those ecosystems, those are the ones I want to get away from when I look to relocate, or if I was going to go to another country or what have you, is how do we live more communal and sovereign at the same time? How can we take care of each other before we have to worry about, you know, like that California scenario that we brought out earlier? You know, everyone paying everyone before they even try to take care of us, and then they don't even fucking do it well.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and I can tell you, with me, I started getting really healthy. I'm sure 7 years ago or so, and it was bad. Like I was, you know, over pretty close to 300 pounds, but I was making a lot of money. So looking back and thinking about how much I spent to get my test done and all that, because I haven't had health insurance in a long time, but you know, and I haven't had to go to a doctor. I'm not on any medication. But it's not, you know, it's expensive to maintain and to make sure that I can, you know, I do my cold plunging. I have the gym membership. I go and do my yoga. Like that's not cheap either, right? So
Right.
yeah, so that's the other side of it, man. So it's just like, yeah, the bottom line is like we have to have our money be able to go further, and um it's not. I just, you know, speaking to that again, bro. It's just not easy for most people. Like if it's tough for someone who's a producer, I can only imagine when you're out there trying to, you know, make it on a salary, or you know, it's a big part of the reason why families aren't staying together. But money's a big issue with a lot of families, and why divorces happen, why we're not having kids like we used to, all that shit, man. So it's like the system's broken, and it's been broken.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
I just threw that out there because I really like to have these kind of like long-term theoretical talks, right? Like how far can Casper go? I mean,
I think it solves for a lot of it, right? At its base layer, and what it's
So
the foundational principles of what this can do. If you're, you know, again, once you understand, hey, this is a deflationary asset, the inflation's set. Like this is what, you know, it takes a little bit to kind of understand what it is, because most people don't have any they have no reference of what they came from, right? Unless, you know, think about your journey and like why are you in Casper? Why did you even pay attention? There had to be something that happened that had you even take a look at it, right? And for most, maybe it's like, oh shit, well, like I can make some money over here. And then you start to learn about that, and you know, speaking for myself, for me, it started with Bitcoin. It's like, okay, I've had this shit for 7 years, and it goes way up and way down, but why? And then you just go into the why. Now there's enough information out there to figure out why it's even here, and it's a solution to a major problem. A
yeah,
major issue with every goddamn human in existence. We all have this issue. Just most
like
people. Yeah.
for me, Casper, I mean, it started like very small. Like it just started with the technology itself, looking at it, thinking, okay, wow, this is a really interesting technology. What they're building, what they've already built, you know, some of the documentation around it, seeing it as like maybe an alternative to Bitcoin, like you know, a comparable, uh, and something new as well. But then for me, my mind started opening up more to more possibilities. And then as time has evolved in these last years, with everything that's happening in the world with global conflicts, people in Europe and US considering immigrating other places. I never thought, you would see that level of interest with the US dollar, inflation, like a lot of things, and a lot also with AI coming on board and layoffs happening across the board, as well as in the government with Doge. There's just been a lot of forces come together that I think we're going to see there be this big interest in something alternative because the current system is really not working for a lot of people. And now, one last thing is, we're seeing that housing prices are like at an all-time peak, right? But if that slides in, 2027, let's say, I think it's further gonna accelerate people's desire for something different, an alternative
that's
form
most
of
people.
finance.
That's true, Elliot. That's most people's savings account, man. So it's like I hate to see that happen.
Well, you see what's happening in Iran. People, I mean, even before Iran and Lebanon, they were not able to get money out of their banks. People were desperate, showing up at the bank, pushing themselves into the bank and threatening because they wanted to just get their funds out. And now you see that in Iran as well, because of the value of the currencies just tanked, and people want to get their funds out, and it's not possible. So there's a lot of factors going on around the world.
Around the world, man, it's like a lot of parallels. Go ahead, Bishop.
Yeah, I think the one thing that would prevent us from doing this really would be, kind of like a system like China has, where they block the internet from allowing you to access certain things. But we had mentioned earlier, the way that we kind of, as a community over the last couple of days, we're living on the Kaspa standard was Cassia messaging. And there was a time when it was working. Like I had some really good throughput with VJ, back and forth with VJ. We were chatting, and I said, "Holy shit! I may never need a phone again. Like I may never need a phone plan again. I am texting right now, and it has nothing to do with my phone number, the cell phone bill, what it's attached to.
Wow.
None of that.
Yeah. Wow.
And it's like, yes, I have the phone, and the phone has the app. It's connected through internet, but I don't need a phone number, and I'm on Wi-Fi right now. So if there's some type of Tesla-style internet right now, or some Starlink, or shit, Rory's in the spaces now. I'm sure he can create something that can just Kaspa node, signal to where we don't need phone numbers anymore. There's going to be a point. You had mentioned.
Well, they're sending a node to space, right? They got it. Cody?
Did Silver send you a voice note?
Who?
Silver?
Yeah. You can send right now. It's choppy, but you can send a 9-second voice note.
So a 9-second voice note is what Kaspa is in the crypto space. So fucking early. Yeah. But what does that 9-second voice note turn into? It's going to turn into phone calls, some way, shape, or form. So whatever this turns into, where we have signal infrastructure to where we can send fucking text messages, what do you need a phone number for now? Right? What Telegram, WhatsApp, they all want you to put your phone number in first.
And the verifying and all that. The IDing and shit. You're right.
And
I wasn't going to do the Casanova Cassia messaging thing because I didn't want to give my seed phrase up, right? And then VJ goes, yeah, but just use some shit you don't care about, and then you're fine. And I'm like, oh yeah. So I created Casanova, and I put 50 Cas in it. So if my seed phrase gets taken by Cassia, then whatever, right? Like, I just don't like that you got to put your seed phrase in. I'm sure they'll fix that in some way so you don't have to give that up. But it attaches straight to your wallet, and we're chatting back and forth. And I was like, holy shit, this is as sovereign as it gets. Nobody knows it's me except for the fact that I put TWTakesPodcast.cast. That's how you text me. Go for it. We'll talk. And the fact that it was that sovereign without needing a telephone number, I was like, holy shit, this is the future, man. Like, it really is the future.
Yeah, man.
And especially with everybody, I mean, as costs go up, because that's what I've been hearing is costs are going up in the US, for example. People look for alternatives, like better alternatives that are more economically sound
and cheaper.
Cheaper, yeah.
I mean, so there's self-driving cars I know all over the place, but I don't know I don't know if it's because I'm talking about this in these spaces. I swear I saw at least, I counted. I was going to send you, I have a couple videos that I need to send Bishop, but I saw like 11 of them driving this morning. 11 self-driving cars. And like
Wow.
the robots are literally on the ones that deliver food. They're on every corner. They're everywhere here in Miami. But the self-driving cars, there's an uptick in those. So,
I
um,
know very little about the DII or the energy wing, let's say, of Kaspa, but the more that I look into it, the more I realize, like, wow, this is actually like one of the biggest pieces of the Kaspa ecosystem because energy is going to be so important, like 10 times more important than it is right now. If everything is going to be robotic, from Amazon deliveries to self-driving cars to self-driving taxis, like everything's moving robotic. AI is just like the demand on energy is going to be so much higher. And if there's a way for Caspa just to plug into that, and be the to be the block deck that is managing that, I think actually that is like one of the biggest pieces of the success story of Caspa.
yeah, we've gotten to speak and hear from Rory, and he's come on the spaces and on this one, and also the one that we run on blockchain banter, and I see him in the crowd. If he wants to come up and talk, he can. But not to speak for him. Yeah, Elliot, like what they're working on, and just the amount that they've been able to share, right? Because they're under NDAs, and he's come on and just given us a bunch of alpha on some of this stuff. And again, people in the space tend to focus on the price, the nominal stuff. But no, Rory's gone beneath the surface with us and talks about, just like you said, energy's energy, and we need more of it. And Caspa's efficient with it compared to what else is out there. So being able to move this energy throughout the world and have a tool like Caspa, I mean, it's almost inevitable that this is gonna have to be used. But yeah, man, things are moving. And I wonder. I mean, again, going back to seeing these self-driving cars, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to have an Uber driver. Like, what am I going to have to use Uber for? I'll use that. Oh, and this happened to me. I don't think I've ever shared this. I ordered food. This happened a couple weeks ago. I ordered food, and instead of the delivery driver, it said, "Oh, if you want to save $8 on this order to have the robot deliver it, press." So I got to save $8 for
Wow.
this food delivery, and a robot delivered it to I had to go downstairs, so it did inconvenience me a little bit. I had to go downstairs, but I'm like, okay, $8, I'll take it. And it was the robot that showed up instead of the delivery person.
Yeah, you took someone's job. That's what you
But
did.
there you go. That's gonna happen. That's gonna happen left and right everywhere in this world. It's happening in bigger cities like Miami. That's happening. And like I said, I don't think I've ever seen that many self-driving cars like I saw this morning, driving this morning. It was insane.
That's yeah. No, I mean that's part of the problem, right? Like you had mentioned something about the deflationary aspect of money before, and I wanted to comment on it that like today the billionaire is like the old school millionaire, but it should be the millionaire is the new billionaire, right? If you get $1 million, it's what $1 billion should have been back in the day. And yeah, it's reversed. And but that's what's happening now, right? And I've always had this complaint again, like in this, we'll call it debt-based system that I always refer to as capitalism. Um, they're helping you save $8, right? But that $8 isn't going to go anywhere. It's just going there for now. Because once that driver's gone and their job no longer exists, they're going to raise prices because they can, because they're allowed to, and they will. They won't act deflationary because they don't have to. And that $8 savings is never going to be forever, and it should be, right? Like you just said, this $8 saves you because it saves them. And at some point, they're going to want more money in charge because they can and they will, and that's the bummer of it to me. I had this argument a couple of years ago. The NBA, they started putting advertising patches on the jerseys. Now they're selling ad space on jerseys. Okay. The company has to produce a patch, get it to them. It's now bringing money without changing any infrastructure or anything to the NBA. ticket prices, concession prices still went up. But that team is bringing in more money through that ad revenue. Well, yeah, they're bringing in profit to their company. They're not passing any of that onto the consumer. They now should be able to charge less for tickets because they're getting more ad revenue to increase the customer experience. They're choosing not to because they don't have to.
I mean, sorry, go ahead.
No, the second they generate more revenue from advertising, that's the thing, from advertising. It's not like they were proof of working somewhere else. This is advertisement. Advertising helps you with your expenses, so you can bring the cost of your goods down, but they don't have to. They actually raise prices. It was crazy, and I can't stand it. I haven't been to an NBA game since.
Well, I mean, and the salaries that they're paying them, right, is just
Right.
and it funnels to the top. It funnels to the players and the executives and all these people, like, and then the ticket prices go up and all that shit. So
Yeah.
that's the Keynesian model to me. That's the debt based model. That's how it works. You know, do they know any better? Maybe it changes in 50 years. And it's the other way around. Or, you know, they tokenize teams and we can actually have a little percentage of an ownership of that. You know, like that be a part of the portfolio. That could potentially be something that's on the block tag. Tokenizing these sports teams, man. And how about when they lose and they suck, we don't, you know, we pay cheaper prices and we get paid for having to waste our time going to those fucking games. How about
No,
that?
they would just airdrop us, you know, LA Laker coin for, you know, holding Kaspa or whatever it is. You know, they would just
I
keep
just
it
think,
game.
I think the whole world should be on commission, like an entrepreneur, because then everybody would be held accountable. You better make some good shit or entertain me, or else you know.
Well, then you're talking survival of the fittest. So what about he gets in
Yes.
a car
I
accident,
think
breaks the
that's a better model. I don't know. It'll weed some people out and make some people unhappy. But
Well, yeah, man. So we have a bit of a scheduling issue today. So we only got about another 15, 20 minutes left. You know, so anyone else who wants to request to speak, you know, I think we have just enough time for one Rory story, if he feels like coming up and talking. But no, in all things serious, you know, what's going on in Kaspa again, I thought Elliot put it in a great way. It will be an appreciating asset. Like, this is going to grow, and we're not price speculators, but the truth is, there are metrics out there, right? Like stock to flow ratio and, you know, and things like that, where constriction will happen through availability. And I think if we continue to show what Kaspa technology is capable of, that by the time it becomes true peer-to-peer use case, those people who didn't catch on now are going to go, damn, I could have got this $2 asset back when it was 3 cents. Like, yeah, you could have. But you also get one Kaspa when it's one Kaspa. So that's not going to go anywhere. You know, I think that's still going to be its primary use case for those who haven't invested yet, is still going to be that peer-to-peer aspect. It's just hard now because it looks so volatile. You know, it used to be at 20, now it's down to 3. Like, could this thing go away? Well, the good thing is we do have guys like Rory and Kaspa KII and Izio Dev, you know, in the chat here, who, like, they are building just incredible things. The Kaspathon just ended. You know, all submissions are in now, and I looked on there. One of the things, I think payment portals have like 3 or 4 projects created.
wow, that's awesome.
They want Kaspa to be used as cash, and it should be. It should be. So all the tech that's coming, I mean, all the tech use cases that are coming, yeah, it's going to help make Kaspa undeniable as a tech, and that's why I love the way Rory talks about it when he says that the people that he associates in business, crypto is a you know, a no word. You know, I forgot how you described it. Basically, it's an ugly word. They don't
It
want
doesn't
to
even
hear.
mention it. They don't even. It's not associated with crypto. But
Which is kind of how I see Kaspa now too. Is that, yes, it's a cryptocurrency because you can do peer-to-peer cash, but the way I truly see it is as a technology that's going to be built upon, and its proof of work is going to be proof of work. Like the proof of work on top of the proof of work is like, holy shit, wait, you can do this thing? Yeah, go do this thing. What do I need? Oh, you just need like 6 Kaspa to get started.
What?
Well, it's cryptocurrency. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, like for instance, when we're using K-Social or Casilla messaging, right? You need some Kaspa in there. So you know what? Why don't you just throw like 10 Kaspa in there and now go use, Casilla messaging and see what happens. Like, that's what I mean.
But
Those kind of things are going to happen.
can I ask you a quick question though? Maybe somebody knows this in the room. Is there any reason to be concerned with where things are at this moment in terms of like the security budget? Or I see this a lot on X sometimes, and we don't know where things are going to go. I personally think that Bitcoin will go further down, which probably will also have a similar effect with Kaspa in the short term. We don't know exactly how things will play out for the rest of 2026, but is there any reason to be concerned at these levels?
Not necessarily. So this is my opinion. Like, okay, I have 2 miners that I haven't turned them on yet because I don't have a job and can't pay my electricity bill if I add on what the miners would, right? So like, I'm not going to do that. And that is a concern. But when the price goes up, I will be able to do that, right? But I also may not be able to compete with mining farms, so I might not get enough blocks anyway. I don't know. But I think the way Kaspa's hash rate is structured, where it always finds equilibrium based on how many miners, because I think right now there's over 11,000 miners on board. So if it goes down again, there's still going to be 6,000 miners on board. And the security budget problems are potentially going to be fixed when the new fee schedule comes out as well. So I can't necessarily say yes or no, but I don't put any fear into it because again, we're 4 years in, and yes, the halvings that happen at an accelerated rate by design, but I do believe that's to help force implementation of this tech. So it's all coming together. And just because it looks kind of accelerated, I just kind of consider it unorthodox. And then when it's done, it'll all be okay. I do kind of have that blind faith.
Yeah, well, and I'll just say this really quick, and then we do have Rory up here, so I'd love to give him some time to share on this. I'm sure he has an opinion. Yeah, Elliot, I mean, in terms of, I don't really take too much reference in the charts, but I do look at the activity and how it's being used. And I don't think anybody's really spoken to this, but I think we've been averaging like 50,000 transactions on the layer 1. Well, that's pretty much all we have, right? Some of the layer 2 stuff with Casplex and then Igor coming on board. But if you take a look at those numbers, we're at 168,000 transactions in the past 24 hours. I see, again, a big uptick in Casilla. So for me, it's about, are we using it and are the transactions rising? And that's a significant, I don't know what that's from, but I know that, again, there's the Caspathon, a lot of people building. So yeah, man, in terms of what it looks like, being in our bubble, right? Because this is kind of the Caspa ecosystem, a lot of the same people come into this. Sentiment down because most people are looking at the pricing. But yeah, in the short, I think you're right. In the short term, maybe nominally Bitcoin goes down a little bit. Caspa suffers from it too. But overall, what's being built, and maybe Rory can speak more to that. It's super bullish. Go ahead, Rory. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Hey guys,
Hopping on. Appreciate it.
just to let you know, we are mining Kaspa. We have some containers filled with miners which are running basically on free energy. Given that we own a whole bunch of power generation assets, siphoning off a few hundred kilowatts is from a few of them isn't going to make any difference to us. So we're actively mining, and we'll continue mining indefinitely. Particularly to ensure that the security aspects of the token are kept high. It also helps fund some of our operations. In terms of what we're doing, in terms of building, everything that we're doing is global scale. So we've had lots of projects approach us, looking for help and grants, and we've tried to help out where possible. Even if it's just giving some advice or whatever else. And we do have, for truly exceptional projects, we that have a global impact, and that can drive demand on the network. You know, we do have the KAI investment fund, our launchpad. So people shouldn't forget that actually exists. One of the other things, we just finished a project, a very, very large project. It's in alpha stage now, going on to testing. It's an extremely complicated project that we're trying to make sound really easy, that will launch on mainnet in mid to end May. That is a global project. So that will be, yeah, we consider that'll drive quite a few transactions on the network. And today we just finished what we call KRC20T. We've rebuilt KRC20 ourselves. And there's nothing necessarily wrong with KRC20. It's necessary, but it's not sufficient. So KRC20, for those of you who don't know, is Kaspa's permissionless token standard. So anybody can go and deploy a token, and that openness is a fundamental strength, and it to some extent mirrors the ethos of decentralized finance and has driven grassroots adoption. There's been some really cool projects that have come out of that. But the issue is permissionless issuance also means it also means that no regulated institution can use it. So banks and asset managers and commodity houses and government agencies and compliant fintechs all operate under frameworks that require KYC and anti-money laundering controls and transfer restrictions and various jurisdiction enforcement and audit trails. And unfortunately, KRC20 offers none of these. And that's not a flaw. It's by design. But it means an entire class of high-value participants is structurally excluded from Kaspa's token economy. So without a compliant token pathway, Kaspa risks being confined to, you know, retail speculation and memes and everything else, whilst competing L1s are capturing institutional markets. And what we want to do by rebuilding a KRC20T, T for trusted, it closes that gap. So KRC20T is a parallel sovereign token standard that operates as a curated walled garden, I suppose analogous to Apple's App Store model. Only entities that have been vetted, know your business verified and approved by the KAI governance board can create tokens. And the core principle that we have is permissionless to use, permissioned to create. So anybody can hold a KRC20 token, but only KAI approved entities can mint them into existence. Now, I suppose that introduces a little bit of centralization, but over time we will open up that ecosystem to a wider audience, so that we won't be the central approved entity to do it. We'll try and automate it using the ISO style, ISO 222 rails that we've been building in Warp Core. So effectively, it's for trust and institutional adoption, for enterprise readiness, for KYC and anti-money laundering compliance, and generally for the Kaspa ecosystem, just to make it a safer place. So that's a couple of things that we've been working on. Just to give you guys a little bit of an update.
No, it's brilliant, and I like I said before, I'm a Rory Maximus, man. Anytime you speak, we learn just how secure my faith is in what Kaspa is going to be. Because again, all of that to say, you're speaking about how well Kaspa can be used. Not once does the price ever matter. And I find that to just be the brilliance of what this technology is. And every time you get a chance to speak, it helps reinforce that, at least for me, and I hope the crowd as well.
No, I literally only just noticed the price because Paul Van Son sent me a text message a few minutes ago saying, had I seen Kaspa Watch.live, which I hadn't seen before, but it's whoever built it, it's really well
I
done.
think it was Kara. I
Congratulations to
think
him.
didn't Kara build that, Bishop?
That might be hers.
Yeah.
I know she built a price tracker, and I know she had the bot on Twitter that didn't get accepted. I'm excited to hear her talk about her submissions on Wednesday.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Yeah.
Paul sent it to me, and it just looks great. And so I've noticed the price for the first time since before Christmas. I just haven't been looking at it. I'm not interested in it. It's not necessary for our long term play. And like I've said many times before, in the energy sector, we tend to think in terms of decades rather than weeks or months.
Right. No, for sure.
And if you can get there as an individual, which is the hardest part, because I've mentioned this before, I think in decades too. That's where I am, and it's really tough to get there. But that just speaks that that's why you're a Rory Maximus, Bishop. Maybe I don't consider myself a Maxi, but I'm starting to become one. I think. Like KII, maybe. I don't know. Every time we hear from Rory, man, it's always great. I love his attitude with it. It's like we don't think about the price for a long. It's a long term play, and that's what needs to be hit home with again the normies and people that are just on it to look at the what is it going to do for you, and think about what you can do for Kaspa, and that's why Rory doesn't look at the price. I don't pay attention to that shit either. It's just like what can I do to keep having the conversations, having people really understand what this is doing. Because they're thinking decades out, man. Can we get there individually?
I might need Rory to send me a couple solar panels so I can start mining. I know he's got to hook up somewhere.
Actually, a good place to get cheap solar panels instead of buying new ones is to go look on the secondary markets. There's whole trading venues for buying utility scale, utility quality solar panels that have just reached natural end of life. In many cases, they still have very high levels of efficiency. They do break down over time, but they can be picked up for cents on the dollar.
Is it the wifey that won't let you get them, Bishop? Because didn't you say you were trying to?
That's who it was at one point, but right now with no true income at the moment,
There we go. You can make some money.
But yeah, no, for sure.
Make some Kaspa.
Make some Kaspa. Yeah, some sound money. Well, damn, Rory, I appreciate that. You got us in under the gun too. We only got about 3 minutes left. I definitely appreciate you coming on and spreading all that with us.
Yeah, no worries, guys.
Thank you, Rory. Appreciate you.
Take care, guys.
Take care.
Take care. Thank you, Rory. Yeah, and like we said earlier with CastMap and Seb, we will speak on what we're using, what we appreciate. It's not about having our favorites and all of that. And as much as Kaspa KII has been putting out in tweets and all the spaces that Rory hops on and speaks about, I am truly excited to see these things materialize into true visualized use case for people. I know that you guys have, I know that the Kaspa KIs have the Warp Corp thing, but that's all in industrial, like you said, industrial NDA stuff we're not going to quite see. But as we see the use case really pick up, that's where, again, the adoption for what Kaspa's technology is, not the token, the adoption for what its technology is, when that materializes, then us coming on here every Monday, 12 to 3, and just talking about what Kaspa standard looks like will always give the opportunity for what Kaspa is to grow, because we're so early, right? And it's really, really exciting to know that tech is out there being used and built to create real world use cases to help the people. It's so fucking cool, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So there's always obviously a lot of talk, especially when you're in this. It's like, okay, what's coming? When is it coming? What's it going to look like? All important topics to be talking about. What needs to be hit home, and what we're going to definitely do on this show on a weekly basis is, we started the show off with a transaction. Thank you, Seb, for sending myself and Juju in Panama. We got to show that. You said, Bishop, I think you said the audio may have not worked, but the bottom line is we want to hit home on the things that Kaspa does today. And again, going back to the peer-to-peer, that is a feature of what Kaspa can do. There's a lot that's coming, but we need to hit home on the things that it can do today.
Yes.
I onboarded a couple more people this week. I onboarded a lady at the storage. I went to go grab a couple things from storage. I've seen her there many times. Ellie, a t-shirt. She I always hear her listening to the news, and we got to talking about like economic. Bro, I was there for an hour. I was on Valentine's Day. I was there for an hour, and I onboarded her. She's like, "Oh my God, this is digital cash." I had no idea. Was afraid of Bitcoin, But by the end of it, she had a Kaspa. So again, it's about having the conversation, being humble, being kind. Giving it time, man.
Hell yeah. Well, shit, man. I think we did it. It's 2:50. We were going to try to get out in this window anyway. Let me do the spiel. What do you think?
Let's do it.
All right. Episode 17. We did it, guys. Live on the Kaspa Standard. We'll be back next Monday, 12 to 3. We're on YouTube at Live on the Kaspa Standard. We're on X, Live on the Kaspa S. We're on vivoor channel /TWTakesPodcast. He is Juan at Juan.xyz at Glitch in 888. The show, if you want to send an energy exchange donation, LOTKS.cast or live on the Kaspa Standard.cast. If you want to find us on Casilla messaging, Juan.cast, TWTakesPodcast.cast. Let's talk. Let's use Kaspa. Let's be on the Kaspa Standard. This isn't, those other ones that tell you that holding it is using it. No, we're going to be on the Kaspa Standard. And every Monday, live on the Kaspa Standard. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. The more you guys help us move forward, the more Kaspa we can help secure. Thank you guys so much for joining the spaces, and we will see you guys next week.
See ya.